What is shaking, everybody? Welcome back to Turntable Tales. I'm Jason, Spins Vinyl Channel. That is Brandon from Mr. Hall of Fame. What is up, dude?
How's it going, man? What's up, VC?
What is up, VC? I'm good. I'm good. Um, chilling, you know?
Yeah.
um, this is gonna be a cool one, dude. I'm gonna let you introduce it because this was sort of your idea, and I love it, dude. So I'll let you introduce it. If you don't mind, I just want to remind people that there is a fantastic app, Apple app, out there in the App Store. If you're someone that collects records, which I'm assuming you are, if you're watching this, and maybe the Discogs mobile app maybe isn't your favorite, this is a great way to kind of jump in and continue to collect your records. Let's see. I'll just read the type that I put here. If you want a record collecting mobile app that actually works, one that handles collecting, buying, and selling without the headache, join thousands of collectors on the fastest growing iPhone app built to level up your game. The app is called Spins, really easy, S-P-I-N-Z. Download it for free on the Apple App Store. Link is in the description. And as I said, there is an update today that I'm actually really proud of, and I would love to get people's feedback on it. What's really cool about it, too, is that there is an area in the settings where you can just send me a message. It goes right to my email, and I always respond, and I appreciate all the feedback, good or bad. So definitely check it out. It's cool, and it's free. So look forward to seeing you over on Spins. Okay, dude, why don't you introduce today's show?
Okay, I definitely will. Well, I want to add something too. What you were talking about with the Spins app, since I've kind of been using it for a while now, having all the same info and everything is Discogs because it's connected to your Discogs. The one thing that I think it's quite a bit more exceptional on than Discogs is when you're out on the search, looking at your want list and what you have in your collection is so much easier on the Spins app.
That's
It's
cool.
so much easier, especially trying to look at your want list since Discogs doesn't give you a lot of flexibility of like arranging it and everything. Um, yeah, I mean, artwork is also a lot smaller on your phone with the way the Discogs app is. It's just that's one of the things I've loved most, is if nothing else. It's just that want list being so much more accessible and so much more easy to dive into. But anyway, it's just my 2 cents, my experience. So yeah,
Appreciate that.
oh yeah, definitely. So tonight, again, I think one of the things that we've always kind of, I think it's kind of what we've connected on a lot is when you get into music and records and all of that, you can really go down deep wells with like, you know, who mastered this and just like all the different things you can like start to get really technical about. But I think the thing that I enjoy so much about doing these with you is oftentimes we just get back to the simple surface of the fun of the music that we love. And I think that's kind of what tonight is about, is we just kind of decided to do a word association. Like we just threw out 10 words, and it's just like when that word pops in your head, what were the first two songs or first two album titles that had that word in it? That simple. And yeah, just kind of letting your subconscious take over and just kind of see what it pulls back from the memory bank. So that's what we're going to do tonight, is just a little word association, a little simple word association.
I love that. It's fun, simple. I love a game. You know this about me. Like anything that's gamified, I'm all about it. So it's fun for you guys too to play along, right? Well, I'm assuming we'll give the word, and then let everybody kind of mull it over in their head, see if there's something that just jumps right into your head. Drop it in the comment section, and then I'll go my list and you go your list, and yeah, this will be fun. AZ Mick in the house. Hey, fellas, what's up, dude? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, dude. So you want to kick it off? Let show us how it's done.
Okay, yeah, we'll kick it up. You want to go like, because I think we picked two for each word, two things for each word, or did you do one?
I did one for each word. Yeah, so
Okay.
I got 10 total.
Okay.
Feel free to do two for each word.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll just go through them kind of quick. Yeah, that's kind of what I did, was took a little bit of stress off to go two for each word. So the first word was love. I mean, again, kind of a simple word that you'll find in a gazillion songs. And once again, what I tried to do is don't think about it or try to find, this album, or just like what were the first albums that came into your mind, first albums or songs. So one of my very first ones was True Love by Ziggy Marley. And
Okay.
I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why. I mean, that album Conscious Party was one of the first albums I ever got into that was a reggae album. That and Jimmy Cliff, those were kind of the first two that made me feel like I actually liked reggae and wanted to go to it, even before I discovered Bob, you know, because Ziggy Marley actually had a few songs that were in video rotation back in the 80s. Or Tomorrow People was probably the biggest one that he had like a recurrent video for. But yeah, I love that song so much, so I got the album, the Conscious Party album, and that song, New Love, is just one that just kind of just sticks in my head, you know, just the way he says it with his little, you know, reggae accent and all of that. So that's what I picked for Love.
Oh yeah, you said Ziggy. At first I was thinking Bob. You said Ziggy. That's right. I got to see Ziggy open for the B-52s way back in like 90 or 91, whenever it was, in the Bay Area in California. It was cool, dude. Yeah, it was cool. So yeah, that's a good pick, man.
Yeah, because I think that Conscious Party album came out like 88, 89. So I mean, that was like, for me, that was kind of his peak in terms of his stuff that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one that I picked too, I actually pulled the album out for this one too, is Little Survivor, Is This Love? You know, another one of those just big, awesome 80s, you know, kind of guitar rock type of ballads or whatever. But I mean, Survivor gets really lost with, you know, Eye of the Tiger, and everyone kind of knows that. But when you start diving into their discography, you know, like Is This Love, I Can't Hold Back. I mean, just all kinds of great stuff. But yeah, that's their release from 86. So Is This Love, classic track by them, and that was the first one that popped in my head.
Cool. Yeah, two great picks, dude. Yeah, this was, you know, like you said, there's so many to go with here, and you can't overthink it. Just go for the first one. But what's so crazy about this is that when you sent me this list, which you picked 5 words and I picked 5 words, but when you sent me your 5, I was literally humming and singing in my head, All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, you know? Just that great John Lennon, you know, just what they were so great at, especially during that era, was like just the simplest sort of lyric, and just proving that like you can make a great song with a simple riff, a simple, you know, lyric and stuff. And of course he went on and did more of that stuff when he went solo and stuff, but I just love that one. I love the video of it, where they're on stage playing and all the people are around him and stuff. And I love at the end where he comes in with She Loves You, yeah, as it's kind of playing out the song and stuff. I wonder was that like, did he plan that, or was that like off the cuff? It's pretty cool how he kind of came full circle right there. So yeah, it's a great tune. I love that one. So as soon as you said it, dude, I was like, yes, All You Need Is Love. Got to go with that one.
Nice.
We got what's up, Nick, man? Thanks for being here, dude. And Mark Glassman, what's up? Thanks for being here. All right.
So the next word is mystery. That was the next word. And again, I pulled a couple for this one as well. And just going with the first thing that kind of came to mind. And I'll actually show this. I did pull these two up here. Sarah McLachlan off her album Surface. And it's the song Building a Mystery. That was really the first song that brought me to her, and this is her release from 1997. Sweet Surrender was another great track off of here too. But yeah, that Building a Mystery was kind of cool because, you know, she kind of had like that laid back 90s, I don't know if you call it indie, or I call it like Lollapalooza voice is what I describe it.
That's a good way to say
it. Yeah, that's kind of the way I describe it. But and like it's kind of a sweet song, but there's also something that's kind of mysterious about it, almost like Salem witch trials, kind of weird about it, even though it's kind of the most smooth, normal, straightforward type of thing, you know. And maybe it has something to do with the lyrics, you know, where she's talking about you live in a church where you play with voodoo dolls, you won't give up the search for the ghost, you know, all that kind of stuff. I think maybe they kind of add a little bit of mystery to it because it wasn't just all like straight love song type of stuff. But yeah, really, really great track. And as soon as I said mystery, that was the first song that popped in my mind. And like I said, since I did pick 2, the other one is my boy Billy Ocean. Love me some Billy Ocean. Mystery Lady. That's That's my jam right there. I mean, it's it was off his 84 release, which of course was the one that had Caribbean Queen and Lover Boy, you know, kind of the gigantic hits. But again, as big as those hits were, it's the B-sides on this album that just make it. I mean, in my opinion, the B-sides were 10 times better than the hits. And one of those B-sides is the song Mystery Lady. I mean, that song is just Billy doing his thing, man. Absolutely love it. So if you're not familiar with that and you are a Billy Ocean fan for some reason, you don't know that song, Mystery Ladies, one to check out.
I mean, Billy Ocean, dude. I mean, I think he's so he's awesome, and I would say he's extremely accessible. Like I think because of that, it's kind of weird that you don't hear about him as much anymore, because he just wrote hella hits and was huge at that time and stuff. And it's interesting that, like, I don't know, you don't really hear about him all that much, and very mainstream, but very good, you know, like he was just a hit writer, man. And so anyway, yeah, love Billy Ocean, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he had that great way of kind of mixing the stuff that brought people in, like from the standpoint of, you know, very popish in a lot of ways, but a lot of his stuff was very, very bass guitar driven. So there was a lot of groove that you could find in what he did. And then, of course, like, you know, having that little bit of an accent. I mean, you know, kind of that, I'm gonna say she's not Jamaican, but just kind of that Caribbean type of accent. I mean, all that stuff just kind of lends to, you know, girls screaming and buying all your freaking records back in the day and all of that. So, yeah, great stuff. Love Billy.
Absolutely. All right. So for me, was it you picked two, right? That was your two? Okay, so for me, I had to say that. Okay, so we're going back to back, same band. So if you've been following, you probably know what I'm about to say. And this was just, I have to admit, like, I struggled to pick something other than this song, and I didn't want to look anything up. So of course I'm going Magical Mystery Tour on this one. Which honestly, before I got really into the Beatles, like, you know, in the mid 90s, whenever they started doing, like, they did like their #1 CD, and like they did like they were doing that series on HBO, whatever that was. I don't know, it was on TV. There was like that series and stuff that it was like, that's when I was kind of like, oh my God, I actually like Beatles music. And I hadn't really heard it that much before. I mean, I didn't identify what I was hearing on the radio as like the Beatles. I wasn't like a Beatles fan or anything. But Magical Mystery Tour is one of those songs that you heard. I mean, if you were out there, you know, bopping about, you heard it just as much as, like, you know, Love Me Do or whatever, you know, on the radio and stuff when they were playing that. So yeah, man, great tune. Love that tune. Cool album. One of their probably, I don't want to say obscure, because the Beatles fans know this album, but it is more of like this came out. The interesting fact is that, like, when I was selling records on Whatnot, is that a double, guess, correct me, was it a double 7-inch? I think or a 777, whatever it was, but it came out as like and then they put it out as the album also. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And it was cool to see that format for this album and everything. And so anyway, I had to pick Magical Mystery Tour. Love that song, and it's definitely got mystery in the title, so it works.
Nice. All right, so moving on to the next word, which the next word was home. That was the next word. Another one that was, you know, kind of I wouldn't say well, it's kind of funny because when you first think about it, you think it is easy, and then when you actually like start diving in, it's like, wait a minute, I can't think of anything, you know, like that type of feeling. But I think one of the most obvious ones, I mean, "Take Me Home" by Phil Collins.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just such a great, I guess what you call it, almost a power ballad. I don't know exactly where that fits in. Love that song to death. One of the most disappointing things to me is when the NCAA, like during the basketball tournament each year, the March Madness, they used to always go out after the championship game with the song "Take Me Home" by Phil Collins. And somewhere along the line, they switched it to "One Shining Moment," which I freaking hate. And not even so much because I hate the song "One Shining Moment." It's just the power of, and just kind of the aura of that song of "Take Me Home" by Phil Collins. It just seemed to capture the moment so much more to me. And yeah, like, it really bothered me when they made that switch. And I'm almost like hoping each year they'll change it back, knowing they're not going to. I mean, it's just, but
you just crank it up and turn down the volume on your TV whenever that part comes on.
pretty much, right? Yeah, turn it down and put the CD in and just start listening to that instead. So
exactly.
yeah, so that's what I went with for Home, is Phil Collins.
Nice. I'm also curious to see if we picked the same song on any of these, so we'll see.
Yeah, me too. I was actually thinking that might be one of them, but what did you pick for Home?
So for me, I picked so by the way, you said, I know these were, it can be tough when you're like on the spot trying to think of stuff, you know what I mean? Even if it's the simplest thing when you're going about your life, but when you're like going to do a video, it's like, why can't I think of anything? Your 5 actually came easy to me. And for whatever reason, the 5 words I picked, I was like, wait a minute, why did I pick that word? They seemed easy, but anyway, Home immediately made me think of the song Home by Depeche Mode.
Wow.
Which is fantastic. I forget what album that's on. It's on one of the post Songs of Faith and Devotion records that came out. And I love that track, man. It's so cool. It's got like this great Martin Gore, who does the lyrics on this one. There's always at least one song, it seemed like. Songs in Faith of Devotion is the same way, where there's a song with lots of strings in it. And this one has a great string outro with like, starts out with kind of a nice guitar solo and then goes into just the strings kind of playing us out and stuff. And it's got great lyrics and stuff. So yeah, I picked Home by Depeche Mode. So low hanging fruit, but yeah, no, I love that song. Let me just catch up on the comments real quick. Dr. Johnny Fever in the house. What's up, dude? Definitely a Lilith Fair voice talking about your
right
pick for I can't remember who that was.
Sarah McLachlan. And actually, that's what I meant to say. Lilith Fair, not Lollapalooza. Lilith Fair. That's what I meant to say.
And then Nick asks, did Billy Ocean write for other artists? Guy couldn't write a bad tune. Oh, the guy couldn't. When you said Guy, I was thinking the band Guy. But yeah, I know he couldn't write a bad tune. Do you know, dude? Was he writing stuff for other people too?
I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Radio Raheem in the house says, Brandon, have you ever thought of using phrases like making dat as clap? I bet viewership would double if you tried more stuff like that. Okay, thanks, Raheem. We've talked about that. We're probably not going to go that direction. Maybe we'll do like late night with Turntable Tales, you know. We each have a cocktail first or something.
Yeah, we can do a making it as clap. I'm sure I got something that fits in that realm.
Oh, I'm sure you got a lot of stuff that fits that. Sorry, I was slowing down because I was like, wait a minute, where is this going, Radio, right? Okay, no, that's good. That's good. All right, Jeff McCormick, Home Sweet Home. Okay, good home tune right there.
That was one.
Mr. Lavelle in the house. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Home is from Ultra. That's right. Ultra. Underrated record, dude.
Oh,
I know,
my gosh, yes.
Even when David Gaughan was interviewed and he talks about those couple records that came out after Songs of Faith and Devotion and was kind of downplaying it, like, yeah, we made a couple of bad albums. I'm like, what? Dude, no. And it's funny, like, did the critics get in his head or something? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, man, you made great albums. Don't listen to haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ultra is one of my top 3 Depeche Mode albums.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it's like there's not a bunch of up-tempo stuff on there, but it's just heavy, thick, and not dark, but just like intense. I mean, that is a fantastic album. It's just the cover itself, which is kind of like that metal core, melted type of thing.
Yeah, it could have been like a Tool album cover or something.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like Tool being a little. Tool makes not a love album. Maybe for Tool it would be a love album. I mean, it's that same level of heaviness. I mean, that's a fantastic album. Like I said, one of my top 3 without question.
I know number 1 is probably Black Celebration. What's number 2? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I always kind of bounce around because like it's hard not to go like between Violator, wanting to put that one there, but then I'm like, but Strangelove, that was the very first song that brought me to Depeche Mode, and it's so that's kind of ingrained as the mold. So now I want to go to that album, but I would maybe say Violator. I mean, I feel comfortable putting that in there.
Yeah. Hard to go wrong there.
Yeah.
Swift-O-Matic in the house. What's up, Swift? Thanks for being here. Okay. So sorry, I wanted to catch up on that, but I think did you have a second home? Did you say two of them?
Well, no, we're good to go on home.
Okay.
Yes. So we can go to rock.
Rock. So next one, title of the album or song, for those that are just joining, needs to have the word rock in it.
Right. And yeah, there were two that I picked for this. I mean, one I'll just flash kind of really quick so everyone kind of knows, you know, I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister. Again, really kind of the album that brought me to all things glam, metal, hard rock, and everything back in the day. So again, kind of have to show that one. But the one that is my absolute banger, this is my track right here, man. So like, again, as soon as the word came out, this is the reason why the word came out. Rock Your Baby by George McCrae. That is my jam. Oh my gosh. I would love to have the experience one time where I'm in a big club where it's closed, nobody else is in there, and this song is just playing through the sound system, and I'm in there by myself just having a smooth, slow stroll on the dance floor. Because this song just, I mean, once it takes off, it just floats in this beautiful place. This place that just like floats perfectly between disco and R&B, and it just takes the best of both of those worlds. And even when you see like the video, I mean, this came out in like 1974, so it wasn't like, you know, music video, but like him performing it, like the way he performs it just demonstrates what makes the song so freaking amazing, because he's barely moving, little soft side steps, his eyes just kind of closed, he's drifting off, and you just look at him, it's like that is the feel, that is where that song takes you. And I freaking love it. So yeah, Rock Your Baby, nice. George McCrae, that is my jam. Cannot stress that enough.
I gotta check that out, dude, because I am not pulling that up on top of my head, man.
Ooh, that's my jam. And I can see how many people listen to it, maybe if they haven't heard it, and go, what the heck is he talking about? Like, there's nothing there. That would make sense to me. But man, it hits me in a good place. Oh my gosh, I love that.
I love it. All right, Swifty saying Rock of Ages, Rock the Casbah, two great picks. We got Detroit Rock City from Jeff. Lavelle saying, I agree, Brandon. One of my favorites, especially the long version, so well written. CPTN hates AI. I know, dude. I get it. And if you're talking about the thumbnail, I'm sorry. It's the one thing I've been skipping on. You know, I've been hard at work on the Spin Zap and, you know, getting everything else. And then it's like, oh, crap, I got to do a thumbnail now. And I used to put so much pride and love into my thumbnails, Brandon. I got to be honest. But right now, we give it to AI. So for people that hate AI, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not an artistic choice. I'm just trying. I got to get something out there. All right. So rock. Okay. So for me, rock, we're going to go with my boy MJ. We're going to do a little off the wall. And we're going to go with Rock With You. I love that. It's kind of almost a slow jam, a little kind of a mid-tempo jam, you know. But it's got that great little drum intro. Da, 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 da. You know, and it's like, it's so every time I hear that, dude, it's like, oh, I got to get up. Got to start dancing. Got to move my feet, man. So, yeah, you know, since I let MJ back into my life a few months ago, it's like, yeah, man, I got to go with Rock With You on this one.
Nice, good pick. Next to Let the Music Play by Shannon, I think Rock With You is probably the second best skate song of all time.
Oh. Well, we were talking about before, what is it? Roll, bounce, rock, skate? Is that how it's? Yeah. I forget what words are in which order, but dude, that is a banger too, man.
Yeah, it is. Oh man. All right, so next word we have is the word again. A couple of simple ones there. One is kind of just a title track, so I'll flash that one. But I mean, of course, Born Again by Black Sabbath. One of their cooler album covers for sure. But I mean,
with the Obi.
Yeah, with the Obi, of course. An album that maybe doesn't get as much love. You know, Ian Gillan kind of came on in vocals on this one. Black Sabbath was kind of going through that early 80s period and all of that. And yeah, all the songs, you're not going to put any of them towards like being the best Sabbath songs, but still, I mean, especially for what was going on in '83. Pretty cool stuff. But so that one just kind of strictly for the title there. But then also just kind of the song again by Lenny Kravitz.
Ooh, breaking out the Lenny. Okay.
Yeah, love Lenny, man. Especially kind of at the stage where right when this greatest hits came out, because his early album Let Love Rule, it was very kind of mellow. I mean, like all the way through from front to back. But then as he started getting into Are You Gonna Go My Way and Circles and things after that, he kind of picked it up and brought some of that kind of like, now he's not playing like him, but like some of that Hendrix kind of psychedelic rocky kind of thing. And I think he does that extremely well.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my favorite place with Lenny. But when this greatest hits came out, I think that song again was the new song that he put on the greatest hits. Like it wasn't even a studio album song, and is really kind of one of his greatest. Just another kind of great, cool Mr. Smooth Lenny Kravitz tune.
Lenny is the dude. I was forgetting. I remember I told you before. I don't remember if I said it's on camera, but like we talked about concerts, and one of the big disappointments was supposed to go see Smash Mouth. This was like probably 99 or 2000, something like that, maybe 2000. And Lenny Kravitz was playing with them. And so this is when, I mean, that's like semi-early internet, I guess. I probably just had an email at that point. And we drove all the way to the venue with our tickets to go watch Lenny Kravitz's Smash Mouth. And as we're pulling up, dude, it's like, you see the parking lot, and it's empty. And like, we just had a straight shot right to the guard. There was a guard standing there, and he's like, yeah, man, canceled. And we're just like, what? Drove all the way there. It was just like, man. Now you'd get like an email, right? It would tell you like, hey, can't, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's one of the big disappointments. But yeah, it was supposed to see Lenny. I forget who was sick. Somebody was sick, either on Smash Mouth or Lenny. But yeah, it was kind of a bummer.
Huh. It's kind of funny. It was right around 98 or 99 when I worked security for Smash Mouth one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Smash Mouth and Luscious Jackson. That's who it was.
Oh, that's cool. Or not. All right. So
what'd you have for
again? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is another one again. I was saying your list was pretty easy for me. And this is the last one on your list we got 5 down, 5 to go. And for me, we'll wrap up your list with a tune that I just been obsessed with lately, man. And not lately, the last 2 years probably. And I was like listening to that thing over and over. And it's Tears for Fears, and it's Break It Down Again.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
God, it's such a great track, man. And Tears for Fears, really, I guess it's Tears or just Fears. There was only one guy. They'd split up at that point, but they, for whatever reason, was still Tears for Fears on this album. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Break It Down Again, man, just a fantastic song. I was so inspired by it. I made like a little video on Instagram using that as like the backtrack and stuff, because I just love it. It's got everything. It's a great tune. It's fun to sing to. It's got great lyrical content and all that stuff. So yeah, Break It Down Again. One of the great songs that they did not together. Like, I think you would expect that, these albums are just gonna suck, but I mean, man, that song is so good. So yeah, that's my Break It Down Again, Tears for Fears.
Yeah, I mean, after you leave Songs from the Big Chair, after you leave that album, that's my favorite song by Tears for Fears.
Yeah,
Break It Down Again.
Man, it's so good, dude.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Let's see if we got some more. We got Michael saying hello. What's up? Swifty says Born Again. Fire. Yeah, of course. Born Again. Great pick. Carlos. Hola. Good to see you. All right. You're up, dude.
All right. So now
we're on my 5.
Yes. Now we're going to Time. I actually do have to show both of these. Well, I guess I don't have to really show this one because everyone kind of knows that, One More Time by Daft Punk.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one. Oh, yeah. The word is time, right? So.
Yeah. One More Time in there. It really is a great song too. I mean, I love the celebration aspect of the song. Yeah. I remember when I used to bounce in a club, back in the day, and certain different events and nights they would play that song, and it really was just kind of like a fantastic, almost joyous moment in the club. Because I really do have this thing about music and you typically, I typically find it more when I'm diving into stuff like Sly and the Family Stone and things like that, that there's music that feels like celebration music to me. Like it's
Yeah.
just about building up spirits, a joy, a energy, and it's truly meant for people to do nothing but just celebrate together. And like I said, most of the time it's kind of the Sly and the Family Stones type of stuff, but that's one song on kind of the pop side or the electric side, whatever you want to say, that actually brings that same feeling to me. So that's an awesome track to me.
Yeah.
On the other side with Time, any chance I get to show this album, I'm going to show it. Bam!
I was like, where's he going? I had a few in my head.
Oh, had to put this one on screen again. And of course, the track is Love Will Turn Back the Hands of Time. So good. So freaking cheesy. It's so good. Oh man. Yeah, I'm not gonna dive into it because again, I'll ramble on forever about this album, but I love this soundtrack. It's so good.
I'm just waiting until I'm in the right mood to see that film, because I know it holds a special place in your heart, and so does the soundtrack. And it's like I want to make sure that I'm in a good place because I want to like it as much as you do. So,
gosh, I mean, I wish you would, but I very much doubt it.
Well,
there's like 15 of us in the whole world that like that.
Well, honestly, I can't even say that I've watched the first Grease, like where I just sat down and watched it all the way through once. Like I've caught scenes and come in the middle or whatever, and never really sat down and watched it. So maybe I'll do a twofer. We'll do a double feature or something. Oh, that's good, dude. Revolution Earth B52 says, anytime you want to channel B52s, I'm all about it. In fact, when you were talking about just feel good music, I mean, B52s, I mean, that's my go-to right there also. Mm-hmm. Dr. Johnny Fever comes in with Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper. That's one that popped into my head first, and I'm like, I got to dig deeper because I thought I thought you might pick that one. So I was like, and then Swifty with Time Stands Still, Rush. I love my Rush, but I can't picture that song on top of my head.
Oh, that's a great track, especially the live version on is it Show of Hands or whatever that is. Great song.
I'm gonna spin that as soon as we hang up.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, the first thing that popped in my head was Time After Time with Cyndi Lauper, and then just Time by Culture Club, and I was like, okay, that's a little forward. So just maybe think about one more thing.
Get one more. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get the time in there, and I'm like, I didn't know if we were trying to pick titles here, so that wasn't gonna. That's the first thing I thought of, man. Moore's Day and the time.
That would have worked.
I got another one that I think is just as good, man. So we're going to go, what is it, 84, 85. One of the greatest 80s movies of all time where the whole theme is time. Oh. And we got Back in Time, Huey Lewis. Woo, got to get back in time. Love that song, dude. Love all that Huey Lewis stuff. Love all of the soundtrack on the film. It's almost hard to separate those two things I've talked about in the past, man. I think about Back to the Future. I think about Huey and vice versa. Like they're just so symbiotic. So yeah, man, had to go back in time on that one, man.
Nice. All right, so what was the next one here? It was Girl.
Lots to pick from here.
A lot there. Yep. First one I went with, again, classic track, Who's That Girl by the Eurythmics.
Not the Madonna version, or not Madonna, I mean, not the Madonna.
Yeah, not Madonna. The Eurythmics there. I was going to say, I won't say that. I was going to say this is probably my favorite song by them, but I probably have to kind of think about it a little bit. But so Eurythmics on that one, and then the second one.
When you think the Eurythmics aren't awesome enough, and then Annie Lennox goes on her own and just kills it, dude. Yeah. I mean, man, dude, her stuff is so good.
So good. And then the other one that I went to is a little Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. That's a good one, dude.
Yeah, that was the one I started humming in my head as soon as I said the word girl. So that was the first one I went to. So, I think it was like 2004. Is that long ago?
Oh, man. Don't start saying that.
Yeah,
2004 is one of those dates that sounds like it wasn't that long ago until you start doing the math.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Like people that were born in 2004 are drinking now.
Oh, bro.
Been drinking for a year.
Yeah, if you ever have to go into a liquor store for everything, never look down at the counter. If you ever don't, if you want to feel old, just look down and see, right?
Yep.
You must be born at least 2020 or 2005 or whatever. It's like,
Right.
oh my God.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that's a good one, dude.
So what'd you have for girl?
So for me, girl, this is another one. I had to let it marinate a little bit because a couple pops in my head. I'm like, no. And then I thought, oh, come on, the obvious one, dude. For me, because I've talked about this before, but we got a little Rick Springfield with Jesse's Girl. Man, that's just one of those songs, dude. 9-year-old me, just left to my own devices because my mom worked and she was a single mom, and one, just my mom raising me, and I was, out doing my thing. But I mean, something about Jesse's Girl that was always on. I was always humming it, singing it, and all that stuff. Just so cool to 9-year-old me that I still love it. I mean, I still think it's a great song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I had to go with and Rick Springfield too, dude. I know he's maybe one of the first like cheesy icons, maybe that people thought, oh, come on, man. It seems to me like he got a really negative rap. But when you go back, he's kind of the ones that you hate to admit that you love or you like his music, right?
Yeah.
But dude, you start going back and listening to some of that stuff. It's like, hey, this is good stuff, man. For what it is, like I really like it. So yeah, I went to Jesse's Girl on this one.
Totally agree. That's a great one.
Just catch up on comments before we go. Got the Time by Joe Jackson says Nick, later covered by Anthrax. I'm not familiar with that one, but I want to hear it now. Michael Elliott, Girl in a Coma, The Smiths. Yeah. Going dark, but I love it. That's a great one, dude. Yes. And then Swifty, My Best Friend's Girl. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Kind of in that Jessie Girl vein too.
Good stuff.
All
right. So the next one is good. Just the word good. And of course, I mean, since we just kind of skipped out on her with girl from Girls Just Want to Have Fun, we got to go with Goonies Are Good Enough for Me, Cyndi Lauper.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Goonies Are Good Enough. Another great one too. Fun album, great display of her voice. I mean, the whole chorus of that just kind of shows that thing that made her voice so special, and I think she really demonstrates it in that song. Yeah. Then the very first one that came to mind was the song just Good by Better Than Ezra. Are you very familiar with them or kind of remember them a little bit?
I wouldn't be able to tell you one song. I mean, I know I've heard them, but it's one of those where I'd have to hear it.
Yeah, it was kind of like they were big, but they weren't big. And they had like a number of hits, but they didn't really have a number of hits. It seemed like one of those bands that was kind of like right on the verge where they could have been just gigantic, but they just didn't quite go over that last hump or whatever.
They could have been better than Ezra, but they just weren't.
There you go. But I remember seeing them live back in late 90s, I think. And it was a really good show. That means people didn't show up, so it wasn't like all crowded and everything, but they put on like a really good show. But I mean, the song Good, it's just a great track by them.
All right, I'm going to make a note of that one. Just to keep going, we got Swifty, go with another Car song, Let the Good Times Roll. Dang, that's good, man. 2 Cars back to back too. I love it. And then we got Michael and Good Thing, Fine Young Cannibals. Oh, Fine Young Cannibals, dude. That's one of those bands I never think of, but whenever I think of their name, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I love the Fine Young Cannibals. I mean, love so much of their stuff, whether it's like Suspicious Mind, She Drives Me Crazy. That song Good Thing, I still cannot figure out for the life of me why that was such a hit. And I can't process what made it great. And I don't know why I can't feel that song, but that was a huge hit for them.
That's so funny you say that, because my good pick is by another band that I've heard you say you just can't figure out why people like these guys.
Oh gosh, I know where you're going.
And we're going Good Vibrations.
I knew it.
The Beach Boys. By the Beach Boys. Good Vibrations. The Pet Sounds era, which I love Pet Sounds. Good Vibrations, and again, I'm not gonna pretend to be an expert, but this maybe came out as a single or something at that same time. But man, dude, dude, I mean, look, so I'm someone that my dad loved the Beach Boys. All he could talk about was the Beach Boys, this Beach Boys, that. Of all the stuff he passed on to me, great bands, late '60s bands. We listened to the Grateful Dead, the Stones, Cream, Blues, Muddy Waters, and John Lee, and just millions of tunes he turned me on to and stuff. I just never caught on to the Beach Boys until literally about 10 years ago, dude. And I'm like, I gotta hear Pet Sounds. I gotta see what everyone's talking about. And it was the right time, the right album. And this is kind of what you need sometimes, right? You need the right entry point so that you don't get turned off. It was so perfect. And I'm like, oh my God, it's all I listened to for like a month was Pet Sounds. I'm just so happy that I caught it during that time. And Good Vibrations, dude, is so good. So anyway, my good song is Good Vibrations.
Maybe I need to go back and listen to it again, because again, I've never really liked. I mean, I have like a Beach Boys greatest hits, like some of the basic greatest hits I do like and all that, but it's just kind of like whenever people even talk about Pet Sounds, I just want to start breaking stuff.
I mean, it's so different. If you're listening to like their greatest hits, like all the surfer music and stuff, I mean, Pet Sounds is a completely different deal. Sometimes it helps too. Like I might have watched like a documentary or read a little something about it and stuff. And sometimes just having a little bit of kind of get you motivated to be like, okay, let me go check this out now. So maybe something like that would help. But and it's I think it's a super introspective album, and not just in the writing, but in the experience of it. And for me, it was like, it's just one of those deals where, you hear something and you're like, oh my God, it's like he's talking to me, you know what I mean? And stuff. And so I really related to the music. And so that's another reason why and so, for people that don't relate to it, maybe they don't see, what's the big deal,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, kind of like the way with all music and,
exactly.
I'm definitely the kind of person that you just mentioned, because that will happen to me if I watch a documentary or listen to a podcast or something, and there's something like really kind of deep and magical that's discussed, and then I go back to something, or I have this craving to go back to it, because like it really does just kind of enter not necessarily even just the music, but I think like certain emotional points inside of you, like the song or the album is now poking on a different point than it usually poked on. Where maybe it wasn't as special when it was poking over here, but now that it's poking over here, and it's like, oh my God, and I get it.
You hear like a completely different light. Yeah.
Right. And I think sometimes we don't give music enough space to do that too. I think that's a different video though. We won't get too deep into all that.
Yeah. We'll do that right after we do the booty clapping video.
Right.
Real quick, Dr. Johnny, Billy Ocean, Get Out of My Dreams and Into My Car. Yes.
Nice one.
That's a great one, dude. Billy Ocean, dude. And then Swifty is John Stamos, the second best Beach Boy. Oh, come on. It's funny because I had the conversation with Swift too, good friend. And he's like, I said, hey, I think there's two kinds of people. I sort of have this theory, like people that hate Pet Sounds and people that love Pet Sounds. It's probably more like there's people that F with Pet Sounds or don't F with Pet Sounds. You either do or you don't. And he's one of the don'ts. And so, yeah, I got you. I got you, Swifty. I got you. All right. So, yeah, moving on. Wait, we got the next word coming up. Unless you have something else on good.
Nope. That's it. All right. So the next one is Take. Again, I'll just do a couple quick flashes here because I did go ahead and pull these out because I want to give some props to Take 5 by Dave Brubeck.
Oh, that's a good one.
Jazz worked in here. That album holds a special place for me. I mean, not only because it's the popular album that it is, but that was my introduction to Dave Brubeck. Actually, through I think it was the movie The Wedding Crashers. I think. Again, I hope I'm not thinking about a different movie, but there was the scene where they went to the rich person's house and they were playing like flag football in the backyard. And while they were playing
that's Wedding Crashers.
That's it. Okay. Yeah, they were playing that Dave Brubeck album. And I remember even back then, again, when I'm not into jazz, don't know who Brubeck is and all of that, it's just listening to that and it's like, that's freaking good. Like, what the heck is that? and that's why I discovered him. And so that album, like, again, definitely kind of holds that special place. And the second one I'll say here is Filter. Another fantastic.
I would love to have that on vinyl, dude. That's so cool.
1999, and of course the song "Take My Picture." I mean, again, that was kind of, I think for me, their big first hit that brought me to, or Take a Picture. I'm sorry. Yeah, I even have the still got the stub there. Where I saw them back in, where's the date? Oh, June 19th of 2008. That's when I saw them.
Nice.
$25.
No way, $25 that recently? Oh my god, dude, how prices have changed.
I know, 2008. That was $25, man. Crazy.
Yeah,
but
that's a good album. That's a great song. Take My Picture, or Take a Picture. It's so good. Well, Hey Man, Nice Shot. That was like off their first album, right? That was kind of their first big.
I think so. I'm not that familiar with their first album as far as like the actual stuff on there.
I think, unless I'm totally faded and somebody can correct me, but yeah, that's a great one, dude. And a cool album cover. I love that era, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like Incubus is a big, I love Incubus, and they came out with Make Yourself, which had Part of Me on it and stuff. And that album is very kind of, I don't know, techie looking. Those albums came out looking very kind of like, there was this whole vibe. And because I was I was a graphic designer during that time and went on to become a software engineer and all that stuff. But during that time, late 90s, early 2000s, I was doing Photoshop. I was making little Flash videos, and I was building websites and stuff. And that was kind of my style. I was very inspired by trying to make everything look futuristic. And so I love covers like that, the Filter cover, the Incubus cover, and others that really kind of embody what design was like at that time. I think about that crap because I'm a designer. But anyway, I just love that.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, man, because JC over at the Flip Side, he kind of started a thread, so to speak. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago or something like that. But basically, it was just 90s forgotten albums. And you just did like a quick video about one album. And it's just when you saw all the stuff that people were pulling up, and it was exactly that stuff you're talking about that just had that feel of, like, I remember like on mine, I did like Sunburn by Fuel, and actually I think I did the Filter, and just a bunch of that stuff from that 90s. And like I said, the artwork in of itself, like you're saying, is just so defining to that time. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I love like the Bjork albums, like even though the fronts are generally like photographs, but the back is always like this cool font, and it almost did kind of come into that whole electronic it was kind of growing at that same time. And so you see a lot of stuff like on her record covers and stuff. So
cool. What was that band that sang the song in the meantime? In the meantime, I'm having a total brain fart. I can see the album cover and everything.
I don't know. Maybe somebody can help us out.
Somebody here knows. I'm having a total brain fart. But that's one of the covers that really sticks out in my mind when I think about that, and I don't know why. In the meantime,
Space Hog.
Yeah, Space Hog. Jeez, yes. Thanks.
Let's see. I don't remember that one. I'm gonna have to go listen to that.
Like Semisonic, like I said, the Fuel album.
Off of Resident Alien. Okay.
Right.
I see it now. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sorry, my screen keeps like taking over. Okay, there we go. All right. Did I go? I forget where we are now. Let's see.
No, you're on take.
On take. Okay. Well, I mean, it's obvious 80s. This is the one that wasn't too tough, man. But yeah, Every Breath You Take by The Police. Such a great tune, dude. And I mean, at that era, MTV era and stuff, and you'd always see that cool, really slow, kind of it's hard to even call it a slow jam, but just a slow tune, but that's really good and infectious, and such a great, bass lick and all that stuff, man. I mean, dude, The Police could do no wrong, in my opinion, like, especially those last 2 albums. So, Every Breath You Take, man, it was easy for me on that one.
That's crazy. That song didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
sometimes hard, like if the words at the end, you're not thinking about
yeah,
it as much. Yeah.
yeah. Because the first one that came to my mind was "Take on Me," and I was like, that's just far too obvious. Like that's just
That's
so.
what Swifty just said. Yeah, I know that's the first one that popped into my head too. I was like, all right, keep digging, keep digging. By the way, Swift is in Camp Brandon when it comes to pet sounds. Okay, you're both dead to me.
You know what I am going to do though, since it's been so long since I've spun that album, I'm actually going to make a point to sit down and listen to it this weekend.
I'm almost afraid to have you do it because it's like then you're gonna tell me like, yeah, dude, I tried and it sucked. It's kind of like me in Grease too. Like you gotta be primed and ready. We have to listen to it together. So if I ever come over there, we'll listen to it.
Okay, I can live with that. The last one here, I guess was "My." That was the word.
Just my.
I almost kind of felt like this might be the one that you would choose.
We haven't hit one yet, so let's see.
My Adidas.
Oh, I didn't even
Is that
that, dude. No way. That's not it. But that's that's so obvious. How did I? That's good.
I could have sworn that's the one I was going to choose. That's why I was hesitant to even show it. Okay, so yeah, My Adidas by it. But then I think the one that jumped in my mind again, just because this is kind of obvious why it did. But you remember old Johnny Gill from New Edition? After he left and quit solo, this was his, big solo breakout in 1990. But the song "My." That was a huge slow R&B jam from him. Again, every female I knew back then loved it. We'll just put it that way.
So that's the record you would put on then when
That's the record that you put on if you wanted to have the ladies around you staying happy. Yes. Yeah, they weren't digging the Metallica Master of Puppets and stuff like that at times. It was a little more Johnny Gill smoothness.
Nice. Oh yeah, dude. Thanks for picking up that New Edition record for me, man. First thing I did was spin that out, dude. Oh, I love it. Got my New Edition back finally.
That was a pretty big album.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, just quick. I was going to say I haven't listened to a lot of the post New Edition stuff, and I know I need to, from those guys when they kind of broke out. But yeah, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah, and actually, it was kind of funny because that's what I was picking up on a little bit. Because I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but I was watching an interview with Ralph Tresvant, who is, for those who don't know, he was the lead singer of New Edition. And he was talking about when his solo album came out after all the breakup and everything went. And he put this in a way that I had never thought of before. I thought was really interesting. And he was like, I'm in the studio working on my album and all of that. And he's like, I'm so freaking nervous. And he's like, and I'm worried about failing and all of that. And when the guy asked him why, he was like, well, think about it. We had just had all the success of New Edition, right? So people have that expectation. And he's like, even then, what I'm competing with now is not only the New Edition breakup, but now Belle Biv DeVoe and Poison is bumping out of every speaker everywhere you go. Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, Every Little Step, bumping out of every speaker everywhere you go. My, Love You the Right Way. He's like, everybody in the group is just dropping bangers all over the place. And now it's like, where's your album? and
like, that is pressure.
Yeah, the way he was talking about that, I was like, man, I've never thought about that. But the last guy to go, that would have been some tremendous freaking pressure to try to live up to that.
Yep.
But yeah, just interesting, just thinking about this particular album. Excuse me.
Take by the Color Field, says Michael on Take, and then we got Space Hog Correctly, channeled by Dr. Johnny. Greetings from Tokyo Record Style. What's up? Welcome. Swifty on My Sharona on My, and then we got My Sharia More.
That's a good one.
Dude, My Sharia More. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And Swifty, dude, if there was a prize, you would have just won it because that's what I picked, man. My Sharona by the Knack. Love that tune. You know what's funny about My Sharona that I just learned, not about My Sharona, but about a kind of a takeoff from that, is I mentioned how there's a guy who worked on Thriller that's doing a whole lot of videos now about the whole production of Thriller. and he brings in people that worked on it, and they talk about it, and they try to reproduce the sounds, and they get deep. And a lot of people that were in the studio during all this with MJ and worked through the songs and took Starlight, you know, the song Thriller, which started as Starlight, and how it made it to Thriller and all that stuff. And one of the things was the song Beat It was kind of the My Sharona of that record. And I guess Michael said, like, hey, we need, like, or maybe it was Quincy said, we need a My Sharona on here, because My Sharona was like massive at that time. We need something that's got that beat and everything like that. And so MJ went and did, I'm pretty sure MJ was the writer on Beat It, even though that album was written in different places, but he did like Want to Be Starting Something, Beat It, Billie Jean, and that stuff. And so I thought that was interesting that he was like, had Sharona in his head, like, okay, we need a My Sharona. And then MJ goes and writes Beat It. I'll just go write Beat It real quick, you know? So that's pretty cool. And then of course, Eddie Van comes in and does the guitar solo, and the rest is history. And then the guy, you know, the Toto guys that worked a lot, not to go down this rabbit hole, but you know, that did a lot of the stuff on there. Someone's going to kill me. What is the guy's name? The lead guitarist in Toto, that he did the guitar parts in Beat It, but didn't do the solo. Obviously that was Eddie. But anyway, it's cool. I love going down the rabbit hole, and I love that they're really digging into the whole Thriller production and stuff, because it's just a lot of cool stuff.
I love the part when they were interviewing him, and he was talking about how he changed around the riffs getting to what Beat It became.
Yeah,
and like, it's just so interesting to act, because you really do feel like you're there as part of the process with the amount of detail they talk about with it. I know those have been very good.
And just offhand, like, oh yeah, that was me playing the bass on that, or that was, you know, I rewrote the drums on that, or, you know, just, you're like, what? It's just, yeah, it's crazy. Because you almost think of, it's funny, like when you're growing up as a kid and you hear these records, you just think Michael Jackson just played all the instruments and wrote it and sings it. You know, it's like, you don't know. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like 12 years old or whatever and stuff. And then when you start to hear, like, wait, you know, oh my God, what's the song that was written, the famously written by the guy from Toto, the
Africa?
I'm just blanking on right now. No, the MJ song on Thriller. Why am I spacing out? I know the lick in my head, but I can't think of the title of it. Anyway, when I heard that, it was kind of crazy. Human Nature.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another great story, right? Anyway. Topic for another video, but My Sharia Moore, another great one, dude. Gotta love it. Then we got, did you check Ralph Tresvant for Sensitivity? Says Radio Raheem.
Yeah, you know, man with sensitivity. That was kind of his big hit, I think, on his first debut or his first solo album, wasn't it?
I'm not familiar, but yeah.
With
you can help us out on that one, Raheem. And then we got Dr. Johnny Fever, My Baloney, Weird Al, yes, of course, My Baloney, and of course famously did Eat It, Michael Jackson's Eat It, since we're talking about Thriller, and still doing his thing, right? He's funny. And in fact, you want to see something funny? Go first of all, do you guys know who Nardwuar is? Because Nardwuar is this guy that's been interviewing people since like the early '90s. He's really goofy. He's really got this shtick that he's been sticking with for like 30-something years. He interviews Weird Al, and it's one of the best interviews in my opinion. Weird Al just hangs with him and is funny and stuff, and it was really cool. I was like, my favorite Nardwuar interview is people that know, you'll know what if you guys have heard of him, you know what I'm talking about, but maybe not a lot of people have come across Nardwuar yet. Let's see, Steve Lukather, thank you. Yes, guitar player from Toto, yes. Says Dr. Johnny Fever and Tokyo at the same exact moment. You guys got it. Rip Victor Willis, lead singer, Village People. Oh.
Yeah, he passed away today.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. We lost the cop.
Is that who he was, the cop?
Yeah, he was the cop. It kind of sucks. I guess he was like 74, 75, something like that. Kind of sucks, man. I heard that on the news when I was driving towards the office today, and I just had that thought. It's just like, you know, we're at that time where just every single one of our freaking, you know, cultural heroes are just gonna be going day after day after day. And I mean, they're all 70. Like they said, that same announcement that Danny Glover is like suffering from like Alzheimer's or something like that. He got diagnosed like 3 years ago. I mean, he's 80. So it's like, well, yeah, he's 80. It's just like they're all getting old and all passing.
Well, that's what's crazy when you still see people going strong like Mick Jagger or Paul McCartney, and you think like, man, dude, these guys are up there, and they're not just still alive; they are thriving,
Mhm.
and so it's kind of crazy. But good for them, man. Whatever they're doing, give me some of it.
Yeah.
Um, all right, well, that was our list. All 10. Love, Mystery, Home, Rock Again, Time, Girl, Good, Take, My. So good stuff. I was thinking about it when I was rearranging the words in mine. I was like, you could actually have it say, Take My Girl, Good Time. I was like, wait a minute. I don't know if I want to. Wait a minute. Wait. The hell was I thinking? Swifty said, yeah, I never knew his real name till today.
My time, girl.
Who's that? You mentioned somebody. I was thinking you talked about a group that I was going to say rest in peace. Someone that had died recently. I can't remember. I didn't say it, but I can't remember who it was now. Yeah, it's not coming to me.
Someone else who recently died?
I don't know how recent, but yeah, you just mentioned someone and I was going to say that. I mean, Brian Wilson, Beach Boys, that was what, a year ago or something. That was big for a lot of people, but yeah, talking about people passing is like, yeah, it's like they are like, God willing, they're living into their 70s and stuff like that. But it's like the decades are catching up to us, man. It used to be the people in the 50s were all going, that were popular in the 50s, and the people that were popular in the 60s, and now we're catching up to the 70s and stuff. It's
right.
Like, oh man, slow down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the people in the 80s, I mean, there's still a lot of them pushing their mid 60s, early to mid 60s.
What's funny too, I was thinking about this, is that like when you're young and you're listening to those 80s bands and stuff and you think, man, they're like adults. They seem like they could be your parents or something. And then you go look up their age now and it's like, they're like 59, 60, 61. I'm bro, that's not that much older. 8 years seemed like a long time 30 years ago, right? Or 35 years ago. Now all of a sudden it doesn't seem so, such a big difference.
I catch myself doing that math all the time. Because yeah, when you're 12 and someone's 20 or 21, that's huge.
That's like half your life, yeah.
That 9 years. But yeah, when you're 50 and they're 59, you guys are the same.
I know, dude. It's like, wait a minute, me and Robert Downey Jr. Wait, what? He started like doing, that can't be right. Yeah.
So weird.
Oh man. All right. Anything else, dude? That was a nice tight hour. So I mean,
I know. Well, after that 3-hour marathon we did last time, maybe it's good we keep this a little bit shorter.
Yeah. All right. Well, heck, man.
That anybody has, maybe. I mean, if anybody's watching and has some quick last questions about anything.
Yeah. Any questions? Any comments? Any new spin us off into some other direction? That's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I already said, I don't know if you heard me, but yeah, I was talking with Swifty's the one that mentioned the Victor Willis. He goes, yeah, I never knew his name until today. It was always just the cop.
Right. Which is cool. I almost think that's actually cooler than people remembering your name.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one thing to say, like, I did this and this was my name, but when you create something in pop culture to the degree that it's just like when you say cop and Indian, and it's like, okay, that's, you guys own that. Like, you created this character that's just, it imprinted itself on people's lives, and you own it now. I think that's actually more special than even people remembering your name.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That is cool. Yeah, that's you can either love that or hate that. You got to embrace it, because otherwise you're going to be frustrated.
Right.
I'm not just a cop, guy. I'm not even a real cop. I mean, come on.
I remember who was that said that? Who's the guy that played Ross in Friends? Whatever.
I'm not going to know his name.
Yeah, whatever his freaking name is. I remember an interview he was doing. It was kind of the exact same thing. Like, I don't want to be known as Ross. It's like, shut up. Like, you don't want to be known as one of the most legendary characters on sitcom TV, like, ever. And like, I mean, I understand, you want to be able to be more versatile as an actor and blah, blah, blah. But to sit around and say you want to run from that image of that character, you're full of crap. So most actors and actresses, I mean, they would give anything to ever have something like that established just within the history of TV. And
Yeah,
you're like,
like
I don't want to be North Rock anymore. Like, what?
most
Shut
people
up.
on this planet will never be known for anything. So it's like, well,
Right.
here's it. I was sitting here trying to think while you're saying that, the guys that actually kind of embrace it. And the guy, I was trying to think of who it is, but you know who it is? Mark Hamill, the guy that played Luke Skywalker.
Mhm.
He's like, look, that's exactly what he says. Like, I could have been known for nothing. You know, like I'm good with being Luke Skywalker. I mean, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, we do got a couple comments here. Let's see. Salt Zine said 4 more hours. I don't know if you got 4 hours in you, dude, but Tokyo saying, how do you guys know each other? That's a good question. How do we know each other?
From this, I don't know. Like, excuse me. I mean, yeah, we met here in the VC, and was it on Chance's channel?
It has to be. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
I think it was. Excuse me. And it was just kind of one of those things where we started kind of chatting about music, I think, in general. And I think the first thing that we really discovered that made us want to do this, which of course I think sparked all the other friendship thing, is like we both really had this, I don't know what the right word is. We got so much pleasure out of talking about the joy of the music. Kind of like I said at the very beginning of the video, where like this topic is so simple and so straightforward that it it's maybe not the thing that a lot of people think about doing a stream about, or trying to make things deeper and stuff like that. And I just feel like we connected on the surface so much more of just talking about a song and just going, oh man, back in the day. And
Exactly.
it was just something about that vibe that was just freaking awesome, especially for another 80s fan.
I think I do actually. Now that you said that, I think I do actually remember. It was on Chance's channel. It was. I think it was a episode of Surface Noise. I don't remember if this is the first time we ever met, but it was a marathon stream. And I remember we just. I don't think we wanted to like go because we were just vibing on like. Just our own, because a lot of what we talk about is like just our own history with music, right? It's kind of like the nostalgia, where were you when, like, how, and all that kind of stuff. And there's all these like memories tied to it and everything, and how music is such a time machine and just unearths all of these memories and stuff like that. We just got into that conversation, dude. And then it was like, people that don't know, if you guys do know, Chance, Concert Buddy, he does a Thursday night show called Surface Noise. There was a time like a year ago where like 10 months, I think, we would go alternate every other Thursday. And so I was hosting on that channel, and every chance I had to bring you on, I was like, oh, this is a Brandon topic, man. I got to get him on here. It would be something where we weren't going to talk about like the latest MoFi, or, you know what I mean? Cause I think that's what it's kind of like, it's sort of the, I don't know what's in the news with the like everyone's already talking about that. And so that's why we were just kind of like, you know what, man, we just want to take it back to the roots and just talk about music and like our love for it and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously we both love vinyl and stuff like that, and we'll show things and videos and all of that, but you almost never hear us talking about this pressing, or like, I mean, like maybe we mention it here or there, but for the most part, we actually want to talk about the actual music and the memory attached to that music. And I think that's just kind of the thing that bonded us and keeps it fun. Like I just freaking love it.
Chickens in high def. I'm ashamed I remember that. What are you referring to? You remember like the what we're talking about, the Surface Noise? Village People Records just made their way out of the bargain bin. Yeah, Swift. I know. That's kind of how it goes, right? For a while. Well, it's like Ozzy, man. You want to talk about coming out. Not that his stuff was ever in the bargain bin, but try getting an Ozzy record for $30 now, Yeah. And then we got, what was the last concert you've been to? I saw John Anderson on my birthday back in May, says Michael Elliott. I mean, for me, it was Journey. And I mean, that was a big bucket list item for me, man. Like I'd never seen him, and that's one of my childhood loves. And even though there's no Steve Perry, and I was kind of a little leery, how is this going to be without Steve Perry, man? It was like no problem. It was so good. And it was awesome. They played all their hits. They played for a long time. Neil Sean shredded. Only thing I could say about it was the bass was cranked up way too loud. But you know, when you're in a live setting, and you and I talked about this, it's kind of it's almost less about the quality of the sound, right? It's about the experience. It's about, you know, that kind of thing. And so I couldn't hear nothing anyway because I was too busy singing at the top of my lungs. And but that was cool, man. But yeah, what about you, dude?
Last concert I went to was just like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So I saw Stone Temple Pilots open for Godsmack. Even your dog is like,
yes,
like Stone Temple Pilots. Like,
she's like, I already knew you were gonna say Godsmack, but STP, let's go.
Yeah, and I mean STP was so freaking impressive. I don't remember the new guy's name, but and I think I might have mentioned this to you the other day, that whoever that new guy is that's leading with Stone STP, he is the perfect fit for them right now. I mean, his voice sounds about as close as you're gonna get. I mean, great vocals, and obviously he's an older guy, but he's doing kind of the older rock star in the way you're supposed to do the older rock star. You know, it's like he's not doing things that he shouldn't be doing, but he's also still kind of giving off the rock star presence and everything that kind of goes along with it. And I just thought, like, the whole time I was watching him, I was like, not only does it sound great, but he just seems like the perfect fit. And I mean, and they came out and played all their hits and played core kind of through. And I thought it was so cool too, because the sun was still up a little bit when they first came out, and they just kind of walked out. It was no big curtain drop or anything. And people are standing and cheering all of that. And then he pulls from behind his back, he pulls the megaphone and just does the I am. You're like, oh my God. And man, when it freaking dropped that, you're like, these dudes are freaking killing it in here. These old guys are rocking the hell out of this house. But yeah, that was, I mean, kind of rambling on so much about it because I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, STP for the first time, and I think my 19th or 20th time seeing Godsmack.
Dang, dude, they got to give you some kind of a badge or something for that.
There was one other thing that was kind of cool too, if I can mention it really quick, because I thought Godsmack was done because their lead guitarist and my favorite drummer end up leaving, but then they got the drummer from, I think, is it Opeth? Did he drum with them? Or is it something like that? And the guitar player is actually a guy that's from here in St. Louis. A younger kid. And so it was really cool with, you know, when they kind of announced, you know, the players during the middle of the show, and he kind of got that back home moment on the big stage, which was really kind of cool to experience. You know, he kind of teared up a little bit, and, you know, people that saw him play so many times down a couple little bars in this certain area, and like now they're seeing him on the mega stage at the amphitheater with a band the size of Godsmack, and just seeing him back in front of his hometown catching that love was a really, really awesome moment. Like, it's like,
that's
dude,
so cool.
Wish I could have one of those, because that's cool right there.
So the internet says former Dream Theater and Extreme drummer Mike Mangini.
That's it, not Opeth.
And I'm stupid. Chicken said, David Schwimmer, I'm ashamed I remember that. And I missed the whole David Schwimmer parties. And he's correcting, like, no, that's what I was talking about. And he's like, I'm ashamed I remember that. So, okay, that makes sense. I didn't even get that. I didn't even know that was his name. Like, I remember, I'm not even going to remember. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there because I don't remember. I should remember some of their names and I can't remember right now. So pull my brain into the whole Friends world.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Dr. Johnny Fever just saw Godsmack and Rush. Yeah, I knew Rush was touring, dude. I know. Are they on the same bill?
Oh, you mean it's two different
separate
shows?
Yeah, maybe it was separate.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Oh man, cool. I know. I've been seeing all the promo for Rush, and I'm just like,
I like to see him, but there's probably no way I'm going to drop whatever the tickets would be if they come in my area. I'm just not gonna. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of a one concert a year. You know, that's kind of my allowance. It's sort of like, I'm done for the year already. As I saw Journey, was like, all right. It wasn't just the concert tickets. By the time you buy all the swag, and all
Right.
that, I think I got like 3 shirts, or might have got like 4. Might have got 4. I had to get the hoodie. I had to get the 3/4 sleeve. I got the tee. Yeah. Anyway, Swifty says, haven't been to a concert in a while. Going to see Maiden and Rush. So wait, okay. So are they touring together? Is it Maiden and Rush?
No, I don't think so. But I know they're
so far. We got Godsmack and Rush and Maiden or Rush like spoken in the same sentence.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. Are because I really don't know who's playing with Rush. I just heard they were touring.
That next weekend, I am going to see this really cool band. I'm sure people have probably heard of them, called the Iron Maidens with an S. It's like these four chicks that basically do all Iron Maiden.
Oh, that's cool.
And they are fantastic. And it's one of those nice kind of $35-$40 and you're in, and you get to hear all the songs that you love, and they're played very well. And it's awesome ladies doing it. It's just like everything you could want to sit and stare at and listen to for an hour and a half.
Couple hours, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, Iron Maidens.
Play.
Even I get that.
Yeah.
Iron Maidens. Yeah, that's cool. Jeff Gutt is the new lead singer for STP, says Vinyl Guy. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure he came from that show X Factor. Oh, interesting. I like him. Sounds enough like Scott W without being a ripoff. Yeah.
He sure does.
And Scott could sound so many different ways too. Just his own voice was so like, I almost don't even think of him as having like one voice, depending on kind of what he's singing.
Yeah. It was kind of like a swag that he had. And
I love it. Yeah.
And that's exactly what this guy does, is like he's able to present that same type of swag that Scott had. So it's, again, great front man. So
that's
worth
cool.
to see.
One of my favorite clips is of him. And I watch it whenever I just want to get pumped up, because he's got the swag, dude.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is kind of cool that, getting older and new singer and all of that, they haven't changed the tuning to any of their songs, which I thought was kind of cool. So he like I said, he's still hitting everything at the same vocal points, and that at least it sounded like they were playing everything at the exact same normal tuning or whatever, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. Now I want to find the song. What is the song that's kind of, I don't know if it has a pool or a woman with like a cap on her head, or like a swimming pool. Which record is that?
You're thinking about, actually, do I have that one on Lo-Fi?
It's a song on that record that they do a live version.
Right there.
Yeah. What's the track listing on that?
Trying to remember off the top of my head, because it's not written on the back there.
Oh, okay. What's the title of the record? Do you know the name of the record? I don't even know the name of that record.
Tiny Music.
That's right. All right, here we go. The name of the song is... Now watch, I'm not gonna be able to find it. I think it's...
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
All right, now I'm gonna take the long way. Anyway, Tripping on a Hole. Yes, Tripping on a Hole. That's a sick song, but they do it live, and he comes out with like the red buzz cut. It's like dyed red, and he's shirtless, and he comes out and he's like doing, it's so good, dude. I can just watch like the first minute of that like over and over.
Now, if there was one pet peeve I had about Stone Temple Pilots, it's like, name your song after a freaking verse or like a line in the song. It's like they always want to name it something like you never even said that in the entire song. Like, why do you have to make it so freaking difficult?
That's funny. Saw a great indie band, says Chicken, called The Beths in St. Louis. The Beths, okay, in St. Louis. Is it okay to say St. Louis? Do I sound like a total out-of-towner when I say out-of-towner when I say it that way?
You sound like you're in the 1920s, yeah.
Okay. Or St. Louis. I saw the Beth back in St. Louis. Okay, yeah, St. Louis a few weeks ago.
Or you can say the Lou if you want to kind of be cool about it.
Because you can mess up, like when you're talking about San Francisco, you got people that try to say SF, they say Frisco. The worst thing you can say is Frisco. If you want to try to get in with the people from San Francisco, don't say Frisco. But yeah, so yeah, it's funny. I'm sure every big city has their thing, right? St. Louis. That's cool. I don't know the Beths. Do you know who the Beths are?
I don't know. Doesn't ring a bell.
Indie band. So that's cool. I have to check them
Where
out.
were they?
A pageant. St. Louis.
Oh, the pageant.
It says chicken. Yeah.
That's a
Dr.
cool venue.
Dr. Johnny says.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. Well, I was gonna say quickly. I was just trying to go through the comments real quick. Dr. Johnny's saying that they are separate. It's not they're not both on the same bill.
Yeah.
And that was for Godsmack and Rush. I think, right? That was Dr. Johnny.
Yeah.
And then we got Swifty, same thing. They're separate. Well, dang, you guys are slaying out, man. That's cool. You're already beating. My thing is one show a year right now because the ticket prices are so dang high. I got to start seeing some double bills. Well, like a couple years ago, I saw Adamant and the English Beat perform, which was like, that was like my 13-year-old self was like just, in heaven. So that was cool.
You know what I'm starting to think now, though, is like the best bang for your buck is just to go see these freaking cover bands.
Whoa. Okay, hot take.
Like seriously, especially some of these ones that are really, really doing it and doing it well. A prime example, if you ever check any clips of the band called Jump, which is like a Van Halen tribute band. You watch those clips, it is about as close as you can get in going into a time machine and going back and seeing Van Halen in the late 80s. I mean, wow. Nobody is Eddie, but they're playing the song to a note. The guy that's doing Roth is truly doing Roth. And I mean, it's like that for $40 as compared to, the 200 plus that you're paying for a lot of shows. And we have a lot that come through here all the time.
Plus with Van Halen, you don't even have the option, right? So it's like, that's cool.
Yeah. But that's where I've kind of started to find that stuff is well worth your money. It's not just a bunch of old fat dudes that, on the weekend throw on some funny looking clothes and just try to do a cover. It's like these people have dedicated themselves to be.
I wonder if that's the same band. I was talking, there was a guy that we haven't talked in a long time, but he found me on like Whatnot or something, and we were talking, and he's like, my brother is I think it was his brother. I'm trying to channel back like a year and a half ago, but something like his brother's in the band or something, a Van Halen cover band, and showed me a video of it, linked to it on YouTube, and I'm like, dang, man, it was hella good. It was really good. So yeah, I don't know if that's the same band or not, but I'm sure there's a ton of Van Halen cover bands, but yeah, that's cool. I always see those pop up too, like if you're over on like Facebook or something, you'll see like all the shows, like the B-52s is touring with Devo right now, which I'm like, dang, I already used up. So I'm trying to see if my girlfriend's like, hey, you want to go see Devo in the B-52s?
Oh, how can you not go, man?
I know, dude. And the only thing is I've seen them both already, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. This is probably their swan song. Got to go see it. But yeah, those I see a lot of those because we're the Portland area, Portland, Oregon. So there's a lot of cover bands and stuff. And so yeah, man, maybe that does sound like a good time out. Might check that out.
Man, you gotta go see that.
I know.
I'll chip in $20 towards that ticket.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, dang, dude, I wish we could see it with Brandon. Like that would be cool, man. If you had a way to get out here or something. All right, Vinyl Guy, the Lou or the 314 are acceptable nicknames.
314.
314.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, 314.
I'm very used to embarrassing myself on this stream. So, Tokyo, another question: Who are your guys' top 3 today? Can you change your mind next week? I think I change my mind all the time, man. Unless you get real deep, like when we start talking about, like if someone asks me my favorite band and you put a gun to my head, when I really say like this is my favorite band, it probably is my favorite band, and I will probably always go to them, even if I'm not listening to them. Again, gun to my head, it would just be Journey, and it's like I know Journey is one of those love them or hate them. People think of them as maybe a soft rock cheese. I don't know, but it's just I grew up with it. Like that's the stuff that my mom was playing. I got so many memories when she went and saw them during the Escape tour, you know, and stuff. And it's like between Escape and Infinity and stuff, like those are just two of my favorite albums. And yeah, it's part of my DNA. Like we talk about this, dude. There's just stuff that's in your DNA that you can't even be objective and really don't have to be. It's like, I just love Journey, you know, I'm not even going to say guilty pleasure, but even though I know, you know, whatever, it's maybe a controversial take. Like, why is it Journey and not Led Zeppelin? Sorry, it's Journey. Like, I just love Journey. So that would definitely be my number one. We can go down the list. Okay, so what about you? What do you think we'll do three. Like, what's your number one?
Well, guys, there's two things that I established as my number one.
Mm-hmm.
Band-wise, it's Godsmack. Like, that's just, I feel totally comfortable saying Godsmack's my absolute favorite band across the board, no questions asked.
Literally got you back into vinyl and YouTube and all that.
Just got me back into life, period. I mean,
wow.
Like, we really get down to it. And then the other favorite thing that I would say is, and I'll throw this on the side, and we can go back and forth with the bands, but I would say the album Rebel Yell. Not necessarily Billy Idol. I wouldn't put Billy Idol as one of my top 3 artists, but the album Rebel Yell is probably one of my top absolute albums of all time. So Godsmack as a group, Rebel Yell as an album.
On cassette.
Yeah, on cassette. So yeah,
okay.
I'll go Godsmack.
Those are good.
You can go.
See, I'm going old school on all these just because, in fact, I got to think about my third one. But number 2 is just another no-brainer for me. This is the band when I was a baby, my earliest memories. It might be weird, but like I have little visions of like being a baby. Like literally I can remember like being on a bed while my mom was, you know, probably smoking weed. We were at, you know, somebody's house or whatever and throw me in the bedroom on the bed and everything, and music is playing. And for the first years of my life, it was Grateful Dead music. And I mean, it was Europe 72. It was Skull and Roses. It was that stuff. And again, it just got ingrained in my DNA, man. And I take it with me everywhere. And a lot of this too goes back to like why we do this show, which is just, it's the connections. With Journey, it's my relationship with my mom after my parents got divorced and stuff. And with the Grateful Dead, it's like even earlier when my parents were still together, and it was like, you know, we literally had like a Grateful Dead poster on the wall in our living room when I was like 6 years old, and they would come on and they do like a live show on television and they'd broadcast it, and you see it in the, you know, you have to look in the TV guide, right? There was no on demand, there was no cable. And you'd wait up until the show came on at 7 or whatever, and you sat there for 2 hours, you watched the Grateful Dead and stuff. And so just all of that stuff, it's another DNA thing for me. So my second band is going to be Grateful Dead.
Man, I don't know if I have the courage to pick a second band.
Well, you know, you can change it tomorrow. Just, I mean, Tokyo's right. It's like the stuff is it's mercurial, right? It's like, it's always ever changing.
Well, I guess like if I have to pick something right this moment, I'm going to kind of go back on what I just said. I am going to pick Billy Idol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think as an artist, just his early stuff. Well, I mean, again, Rebel Yell just kind of came in and set the tone for me around all things kind of pop rock and new wave-ish and all of that. So it's kind of like everything that came in after that filtered through Billy. You know, so when you go back for everything from, you know, White Wedding and all the early stuff that really boosted him on MTV, and then even getting towards some of the latter stuff he's done over the past 10 years or so, like he's never stopped being Billy Idol, which I think is kind of fantastic. So yeah, if I have to say something right now, I'll go number 2. I'm going to go with Billy Idol.
You got to give us yours too, Tokyo, and anyone else that wants to give their top 3.
Yeah, no kidding. Put all the pressure on us. We got to speak.
Come on, Tokyo. What's your top 3, baby? 3 is hard because I'm going to go to like my high school years, and this is where things really kind of. This is the one where it's going to change every day, and so I'm just going to pick the first thing that pops into my head, and it's just going to be influence-wise because Grateful Dead early influence before I could even talk. And then Journey when I was playing my Atari, you know what I mean? When my mom was cooking dinner and playing the records. And this is going to be the guy that I had the VHS tape, bro. And you know, I think you're going to know where I'm going. I wanted to be like this guy. I wanted to look like this guy. I wanted to dress like this guy. I could sing and dance like this guy at one time. Not anymore. But I got to go Adam Ant. I just freaking, there was a time, and that was so random. Like, no one I knew liked Adam Ant. No one even knew who he was. But we used to love going to the video store, right? And they had the VHS. I'd go to the music section, and that's where I'd rent like In Orange by The Cure, or the singles collection by The Cure, like all their videos up to that time. Oh God, I can't. What's the other one? There was another big one. I'm spacing. Oh, Depeche Mode 101. You know, was out, and I'd have to rent it over and over. And the Adam Ant one, I rented to the point where my mom just bought it for me, and I still have it. And Adam Ant is number 3 for me. And yeah, still. And I'm so happy. Again, another closed circle when I got to see him last year, and then I got to see Journey this year. So yeah,
nice.
And I saw The Cure back in the day, so I got to close all 3 circles.
Oh man, I still never seen The Cure. That's one.
Oh, and the Grateful Dead. I've seen them many times. So yeah.
Well, actually, I think one that I'd have no problem putting in my top 3, which now that I'm thinking about it, could easily go there. Black Sabbath.
Okay.
I mean, from start to finish, there's never a letdown with them at all. You know, so I'd be more than comfortable saying that they can be in my top 3 bands of all time.
Nice. All right, there you go. There's our top 3. God, I don't care, Tokyo. Let's go.
Trying to weasel out.
Let's go, baby. It is hard. Okay. That's most of the stuff we do on the channel is hard, right? It's like we do something, it's like top 10, right? We're always like, how do we rate? We're trying to rank top 10s and stuff. It's like impossible.
Yeah.
Dr. Johnny, what was your gateway? Oops, it just jumped up. And we got a bunch to get to. I'm going to get to everybody. What was your gateway record that started it all? When you say it all, just love for music, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say we kind of talked about too. That if I was going to guess yours, I think we talked about them, but I don't know. I think I was going to say.
Well, what if we do it this way? Because like you like genres, like you like jazz, you like new wave. Maybe give your answer for like what was the jazz album that really got you going? What was the new wave album that really got you going? Yeah, maybe
okay, that's cool.
Or whatever. Maybe do it like that.
Yeah, if we're going like where, you know, I became autonomous or whatever you want to say, where I started like discovering my own stuff. And, you know, early stuff would have been like, it's so hard. It's so hard. I mean, I talk about it all the time, dude. I mean, the B-52's Whammy is a record that just stands out. I feel like I was really into anybody that listened to alternative, and there was a lot of us, you know, back in the day. I was all, you know, friends. My girlfriend got me into a lot of this stuff, but it was the Smiths, it was the Cure, Depeche Mode, you know, all the, and I don't know. And I'm not saying I liked the deep cuts, but I liked the other stuff that maybe some people thought was cheesier. So Whammy, B-52s was a big one for me, but it was kind of a lot. It happened all at the same time during that time where it was just, I listened to all that stuff. Any new wave, modern rock, whatever you want to call it, man. I was all about it. That was my thing. And didn't even, so maybe as a genre, you'd have to say that because I wasn't into like rock or metal or anything. It was very random stuff where it was either new wave or it was just a random punk stuff or something here and there. But I didn't listen to Metallica. I didn't listen to like, you know, Iron Maiden. I didn't listen to like any of that stuff until later. So anyway, that's that. Yeah. Okay. So you want to pick a 80s record, I guess, that got you started?
Yeah. Like when I think about the different things that got me started, when I'm thinking specific like genres, you know, I love jazz, and I know the first thing to open me up to jazz technically was Kenny G Live. What was the first album that was a jazz oriented album that made me think that's cool and I want a copy of that.
Yeah.
I think as far as like actual jazz albums, it's a John Coltrane's Love Supreme. I still remember the day when I first heard that album, and like I got to start buying jazz albums because this is freaking awesome.
That's
I'm
cool.
kind of the new wave pop side, as I was just kind of mentioning. Rebel Yell by Billy Idol is definitely the album. Um, and then also, well, actually, Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. I think those two albums were really kind of the gateway. Although technically, if you're not talking about albums, maybe I'll just go to songs. And I think I've told this story enough. I don't know if people listening here have heard it before, but I grew up on kind of the wrong side of the tracks in Southern Illinois and the projects and that type of thing. And growing up, all I knew was kind of R&B and gospel. And in the middle of my 5th grade year, my dad gets a job and we move over to Missouri, like in the middle of the school year. And all of a sudden I'm in a middle class neighborhood, from the projects where nobody looks like me. And like, it's just a totally different, I mean, all positive, nothing negative, but it was just a new environment. And so I get a couple of new friends right off the bat. And this one guy named Matt asked me, "Hey, are you into music?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like music." And I name off a couple of groups. And he's like, he's like, "Have you ever heard of like Led Zeppelin or The Who?" And I'm like, "A Led what? Like, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "I'm going to make a mixtape for you." It's like, "Yeah,
Oh,
that'd
that's
be
cool.
cool." And so he hands me this tape. And I remember the first 2 songs on there was One Vision by Queen and Over the Hills and Far Away by Led Zeppelin. And I just remember hearing those 2 songs, and it was just like, I mean, and then after that, it's like, some AC/DC, Aerosmith. And I remember just my little mind was just blown. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this stuff? And
Yeah.
he was like, "I'll make you some more," because his brother worked at a radio station, so he had just an insane vinyl collection. He would go in his brother's room and just make all these mixtapes. And it's like, I'm getting Whitesnake. That's how I got introduced to Twisted Sister and all of that. So those 2 songs, Queen and Led Zeppelin, were my first 2 true introductions to that classic rock type of thing. But as far as albums and all of that, it was Rebel Yell and Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister.
Yeah. That's
And then on
cool.
the hip hop side, UTFO. I mean, I feel like that's the
Oh,
first group I really remember kind of digging into from this is a rap group and I want their next album. And yeah, UTFO. And then of course all the Fat Boy stuff and everything started coming right after that.
you just got me already, dude. You already got me having to change mine. I screwed it totally up, dude. Is that like, yeah, before that, it was MJ, dude. I mean, Thriller. When Thriller came out, man, that was really the one that took it from like just listening to records. Even like I remember asking my dad bought me a 45 of Joe Jackson Stepping Out. When that came,
Nice.
I'm probably like 9. And he's like, first of all, he's like, why do you want that record of all records, man? There's so much great music on there. You want to hear Stepping Out by Joe Jackson? I'm like, yes, dude. It
Oh
was on the
man.
radio. I was so it was, it was cool. So, but yeah, that was asking for music. And then I asked for Thriller, man. And my mom got me the cassette that Christmas. And it was like, that really like all bets were off at that point. So yeah, I got to say Thriller. But then you're right, dude, because at that same exact time, it was UTFO. It was Houdini. It was the Fat Boys. It was Egyptian Lover. It was, I mean, oh God. And you just be walking down the halls, rapping and all that. It was so new. And people would be popping and break dancing, and the school dance, people would try to scratch on the cheap ass turntable, whatever. I mean, I remember a guy trying to scratch on this turntable that we had. You'd be in the whatever, the auditorium with a stage and everything, right? And they're up on the stage was like the music, and it was a record player and some speakers and all that. And one guy walks up there, he thinks, I'm gonna scratch now, right? And he's like, just sounded like terrible. The needle was going everywhere. I was like, okay, dude, you don't know what you're doing, just stop. But this is literally like 84 or something like that. So
Man.
pretty early. But anyway, yeah, dude, that's my answer. That last answer was not my final answer.
Actually, you're talking now. There's one more that came to mind for me, because at that same time, I was listening to glam metal because that's what was on MTV. So it was kind of like that's just what was your rat and all this stuff like that. But the first thing I remember getting into from like the metal side, and even though this is not their most metal album or anything, but the first thing that wasn't MTV oriented was when that same friend Matt came over and handed me a copy of Somewhere in Time by Iron Maiden. And I
Oh
remember
yeah, I
getting that
remember that
tape,
story.
yeah, looking at the cover, and I so vividly remember saying, it does not matter what this sounds like. I have to like it. Like this artwork and just seeing that cyborg on the front of it, I have to like it. It's done. And my parents happened to be going car shopping that Saturday, and so we were riding around the station wagon, going to different car dealerships, and I'm just in the back seat, like, whoa. But yeah, that was my first thing that had something that wasn't spinning a video on MTV. That
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that story, dude. I don't care what this sounds like. I have to like
I
it.
have to like
Because
it.
it's so true, man. You just see something and it's like, okay, I have to like this, dude. Like it's gonna change my life. I can't not like Iron Maiden because in the way, I mean, it's like Kiss. That's kind of how I felt about Kiss. And even though when it grow, like I'm like, this is just too like blood, face paint, fire. Yeah, I have to like this, so yeah. I mean, I could have said Kiss. I mean, that goes back even way before MJ for me. Like that, just seeing that. I used to, my parents would buy me the trading cards, the Kiss trading cards. And my mom, I vividly remember sitting in the back seat looking at these, and then my mom looking at my dad going, should we be buying him these? Because I was literally like 5. And I remember, and I'm just, my eyes are bulging out of my head. And then I'd go over to, because I'd get dragged around to people's house. My parents would go hang out, and they'd usually have a kid, and they'd go play with the kid. And you'd go and, okay, what do you got? And I remember going over this one the girl's house, going in her room and stuff, and she pulls out a stack of Kiss records, starts opening up posters. And this is the first time I ever saw them not on a card. And I'm just like, oh my God. My mind was so blown, dude. And then 7 years old, I remember vividly, and I've told this story, my mom let me pick out a couple of Columbia House things. She's like, yeah, we're going to get the Columbia House, pick out a couple of records. I ended up picking out 2 8-tracks. One was the first Kiss album, and the other one was Donna Summer on the radio or something. Anyway, so yeah, I could have said Kiss. Okay, we got to get through these. What are your most collected artists on vinyl, says Johnny Fever? My most collected artists on vinyl are going to be Grateful Dead and Frank Zappa. Grateful Dead because I have everything. Frank Zappa because he put out over 70-something albums in his lifetime, and they just keep coming out. And I don't have a complete Frank Zappa, collection or anything, but I got a lot. No, in fact, scratch both of those. I got however many Grateful Dead albums there are, 20-something plus solo albums. I probably have 20-something Grateful Dead albums. I have 40-something Count Basie records. I love Count Basie, and so that's my biggest collection. What about you, dude?
Yeah, if we're talking purely numbers and not counting box sets, because I have like all 6 of the David Bowie box sets, so technically that'd probably be the most. But just individual pieces, it'd probably be John Coltrane would be number 1. I have the most of him, and then Kiss is probably number 2 of just the most individual pieces outside of box sets.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What was your gateway record? We just answered that. What was your gateway, Johnny? And if you said it already, I'll get to it. Tokyo, do you mind me asking what years you guys were in high school? We're both the same age. I mean, high school years would have been mid 80s to 1990 or 90. I graduated 90. I think you're 91.
Yeah, I graduated 91.
If I remember. So yeah, that was our era.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like aging. I should have got permission before I started aging you, but all my fave tunes I associate with a babe, so I can't listen to anything anymore. Oh, that sucks, Alzine. That's the worst, man.
You gotta watch that sometime. There's nothing worse than getting a negative memory connected to an awesome song. That's
the worst. It's the worst, dude. It's like when you eat something when you're sick and then you can never eat it again,
Right. Oh man.
All right, and then we got Chicken. My current favorite artist, Magdalena Bay. I'm 47, so I'm way past their demo, but their music is amazing. Okay, that's cool. Magdalena Bay. Discovered. I don't know who that is. Only Magdalena I know is from Is that a song by oh my God, Book of Love? Is it Book of Love? Who? Book of Love? Book of Love. No, that's Modigliani, not Magdalena. How do I know Magdalena? Anyway, so Magdalena Bay, that's cool. I have to check that out. Outside the 47-year-old demo. So Swifty, Rainbow, Sabbath, UFO. That's cool. Oh, big okay, so Rainbow #1. That's cool because I don't hear about a lot of where Rainbow is like someone's #1 deal. So that's cool, dude. Yeah, Tokyo. I'm just getting to the part where you said it was hard, but I see that you did answer. Salt Zine, Pat Metheny Group, Frank Marino, and Howard Jones. Oh, those are cool, dude. Yeah, I got heavy into Pat Metheny a few years ago. I was kind of like branching. I've been listening to jazz forever, and I kind of wanted to start getting into some of that more Pat Metheny type stuff, And so, yeah, I got into him too, man. He's cool. And then Howard Jones, of course, man. What is Love, dude? I mean, when that song came out, I still love that song more than anything on the planet.
Yeah, he has great stuff.
All right, Tokyo's going ahead. Here he goes. Velvet Underground, ? #2, Beatles. #3, Fish, Dead. Oh, Fish/Dead. Okay. Sounds like someone else I know. I have not. There's a whole video of me trying to get into Fish, and it's like, it's just, I kind of did, but then I kind of gave up. So maybe I'll try round 2 again someday. But Velvet Underground, yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Wait, here's a question. I don't know what's popped in my mind. What would you say is one of your most like underrated gems of an album? Just like an album that you think belongs aces high, but it's kind of nowhere near there.
Oh God, I might have to think about that. Do you have one in mind?
Yeah, there was something someone asked a question a minute ago, and it made that question pop in my head. But yeah, I definitely have one in mind.
Go for it.
Oh, well, my answer to that would be Western Stars by Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about that.
Yeah, I think I have yapped about it quite a few times. That's a top 3 Bruce Springsteen album, and nobody talks about it. Like nobody talks about it. I mean,
every time I see you hold that up, I'm like, I have to listen to this, and I still haven't.
Yeah, just such it. I mean, just like the title track, such a it's one of those things that we were talking about before, like when you experience something, then you go back and listen to the music, and then like there's like the connection, like in a different place. I remember when the album first came out, and I saw the album cover, and it just has like that black horse in the desert, like
yeah.
And it was like, that is the stupid, like, what is that? Like, who chose that album artwork? You listen and take that album in, you could not have picked a better picture to capture what this album is about. It's just this awesome Western, amazing storytelling, but it's not like country Western grooves. It's like Bruce Springsteen doing songs that kind of have a little bit of a country flavor to them, but the drama that's brought in with the strings that are in those songs is just mind-blowing. I mean,
all right, I gotta check
that is the most underrated album. It truly is.
Yeah, I feel like I have a bunch. I don't know, the one I'm thinking of, because I've named the Grateful Dead is my second favorite band, and Tokyo is #3 favorite band with Fish, is I gotta go, since I'm on the Grateful Dead kick, so if you listen to the Dead, you'll know what I mean. Probably their least favorite album is Go to Heaven. And it has, if you look at the cover, like you said, it's like, come on, dude. It's like them just standing there. It's all white, they're all dressed up and stuff. It's like no other cover looks like that, especially the early stuff with skulls and just really cool paintings and everything and stuff. But I think that's such a good album. Yes, it has Brent Midland, who was their keyboard player at the time, but he writes 2 of the tracks on there I think are very good. So to me, that's underrated. And when I listened to that again a few years back, and I hadn't heard it in a while, and it was kind of the one where I'm like, okay, let me see refresh my memory. Now, I might be slightly biased because my mom was playing that when it came out, and so I remember it in the background. But I think that's a sleeper for people. I think if it's not one I would recommend. Well, I don't know. Maybe I would. But I don't know. I was going to say I wouldn't recommend it to people that don't already know the Grateful Dead. But who knows? The entry point could be anywhere for people. But that's going to be my pick. I think my hot take is Go to Heaven, the Grateful Dead, man. Worth another listen.
Yes.
Ultravox, Laibach, and OMD. Ultravox and OMD I'm hanging with. What's Laibach? You know that band? That's Michael Elliott.
Spell it again. I don't have the thread up in front of me.
Laibach, Laibach, I guess. Sorry if I'm totally screwing this up. Yeah, I see the dude on here, active since 1980. I've never heard. Maybe that's, I was gonna say maybe more, it's a rock. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. That's cool. But I love that you guys share this stuff because it always makes me, I make a note of it and then I have to go check it out. Started the vinyl rabbit hole, Dr. Johnny Fever. Michael Elliott. Gateway that started it all for me was Roxy Music's Stranded. I was a young teen and a neighbor handed me the album, put it on, and my life was changed. That's so cool. That was like what it was like. You know what I mean? Like you weren't sending a Spotify playlist, right? You had to hand somebody a tape or a record, go listen to this, and it was a physical act. Used to love those days, man. That's so cool.
And when you take cover art, like those Roxy Music cover arts, and someone hands you that on a 12 by 12, it's not the same as seeing it like this on your phone.
100%. 100%. Roxanne, UTFO. Yes, absolutely, dude. I'm the real. And that was the first diss track, too. Maybe people don't know. The whole Roxanne diss thing went back and forth and all that stuff. Yeah. When people weren't actually shooting people over diss tracks.
Right.
It was I had a friend make me a mixtape and UTFO was on it. I grew up in New Orleans East as the token white kid in my school. Huge zap ahead. Yes, Tokyo. Absolutely. Swifty, only if there was an app that showed most collected artists in your collection. Dr. Johnny, my gateway record without parental influence was Van Halen 84. Yes.
Yeah.
That was probably my gateway to 80s rock and like kind of going into, listening to harder stuff and everything was 84. And I told the story, dude. I was in summer school. I remember it. 6th grade, I think, summer school. Was it 6th grade? So I think it was around there. And we had to do like, it was like the last day or something of summer school. We were doing something fun and we had a camcorder, a VHS camcorder, and we all had to like make a commercial. So we all broke into teams and we came up with a little commercial we were going to make. And ours was like, we're going to do a Twix commercial or something. It was stupid. Anyway, I was like, I couldn't think of anything. And these two kids were like, did a radio station. And so they set it all up, man. They set the table up. They had the boom box. They had 1984. And first time I'd ever heard it, they're like, hey guys, welcome back to blah, blah, blah. Next week up, we got Van Halen with the song Panama. And they hit play and it was dun, dun. I was like, oh my, it was like, my hair was going back. And I mean, dude. So yeah, dude, I got a special place in my heart for 1984. So good.
You know what might be a fun video to do sometime is like I don't know, we can call it like The Path or something like that. Like when you have a band like Van Halen, where did you get in, and then where did the path go from that? Like would someone say I came in at 84 and then I went back and got Van Halen 1, 2, and then I went to 5150 and. What was your path of getting through all those albums by that band?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to talk about because I think most of us have kind of different paths of when we jumped in.
Yeah, I always think about my path with Frank Zappa because it's very specific. I can save it for that video, I guess, or a little teaser. Let me fix that. That means I've been on too long. Hang on. Reboot the camera. There we go. Um, Thoughts on the Dead's disco record, Shakedown Street, top 3 Dead studio records for me. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I like Shakedown Street. I mean, it's probably not, I don't know if that's the thing. Well, like a lot of Deadheads, I would say I'm probably a live guy first. I mean, I love Live Dead. I think I love Live Dead more than a lot of people, but also Skull and Roses and Europe 72. I wasn't going to say, I didn't mean Live Dead. I meant Dead Set. So that's another live one. Like those 4 records, that's like, if that's all the Grateful Dead you ever heard, it's so great. But I'm also not a hater of the studio albums like a lot of people are. And as a non-hater of the studio albums, I also am not like automatically going to American Beauty and Working Man's Dead. So I love that you went to, so this is deep cuts now, guys. We're talking deep Grateful Dead head right now. So the fact that you picked Shakedown, I respect that. I love it, dude. I'm also a big lover of Blues for Allah, you know, with the exception of like the last track. I think side 1 is awesome. But yeah, you know, I love all their stuff, to be honest with you. Even that one, even I think Terrapin Station is another one that a lot of people got into at that time with that long track. Where I don't know, people love it or hate it, you know, because they got the strings came in that the Grateful Dead did not approve and all that stuff on that Terrapin album. But I don't care, man. I think it's cool. That's the way we got it. And so, yeah, great stuff. Okay. Enough Grateful Dead. Everyone else is like hating us right now because I'm talking about the Grateful Dead. What else? Panama Rules. Yes, absolutely. Beatles, then Kiss, then punk, then new wave, then hip hop, rap, then indie rock, says Grasshopper. I love it, dude. Yeah, that was kind of like the path back then, man. It was like, I'm so glad, even though I grew up on the West Coast, that we got all that great hip hop and rap and stuff at the time, you know. And it was, I remember practically the day that the Beastie Boys came out with Ill Communication, License to Ill. And it was just like, oh man, it just changed my life. And then, you know, we talked earlier about like My Adidas, you know, and then Run DMC and LL, like, I mean, all that stuff. It was all one thing too. Like when you're 10, 12, 13, I'm not thinking about like anything. I'm just listening to, it's Houdini and the Fat Boys in one hand, and it's MJ and, you know, Prince in the other hand, and it's, you know, Fleetwood Mac and Journey in the other hand, and it's all just the same, and put it all in my bucket. I want it all, you know?
Yeah. I think that was the one thing about my experience. I mean, my high school was like over 3,000 kids. It was a huge high school. And I played sports and everything. And so what kind of ended up happening is I had these very, very distinct group of friends in different groups that never crossed paths. Like there's people I could say, I've been friends with this person like on a regular basis for 3 years now. And these friends over here have no idea I even know them. And I think a lot of it just kind of fell with, you know, with the pieces of interest that I had with that group, I went with them. So when I'm with my basketball team, it's all hip hop, rap, the whole nine. When I'm hanging out with my buddy Matt and John, it's all, you know, Van Halen, Black Sabbath, all of that. You know, my buddy John, he was one that was kind of into, like, he liked all that good stuff too, but he was also kind of the, you know, I don't know what kind of stuff would I say, like Faith No More and things like that is stuff that he was really kind of into. Then I had my nerdy friends that were more kind of just about the new wave and more popular stuff. So the more time I spent with them, just doing the things I did with them, you know, just being on the basketball trip with them, or just outside riding bikes with them, or just putting together model cars with this group. There was, like I said, anybody's room you were in or house you were in, there was always music playing. And it's just like when you know you're going over to this person's house, this is what we're going to rock to today. But without knowing it at the time, I was getting exposed to so many different types of music that became very, very meaningful.
And then you had MTV, and that was a whole nother influence, right?
Yeah. Because even when I go back and think about it, and I think this is one place that doesn't get enough credit, The Cosby Show. I mean, everybody and their mom watched that, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that, even though I may not have known it at the time, the one amazing thing that Bill Cosby did on that show is he inserted so much Black culture without being all in your face about it. You know, like he didn't have to make it a black thing. It was just, here are some beautiful, amazing things. I'm just going to put it out there and, you know, pick up on what you pick up on.
Yep.
And so he would do that like with the colleges and like the shirts that he wore. And but I always remember whenever he was putting on that jazz music, if it was time for him to try to romance Claire or something like that, like I remember in a sentimental mood. I remember hearing that on the Cosby Show, and again, I didn't realize at the time, but I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I have no idea what it was. I never was really in or knew Ray Charles. My parents just didn't play a lot of that for me. But then, you know, you have the anniversary episode where they dance to "Nighttime Is the Right Time," and you know, and so it's just like there was even those elements where you're being introduced to something that none of my other friends were. Like my hard rock friends weren't playing jazz, but Bill Cosby is showing me jazz, and I'm hearing about Tailwind Turner and Coltrane and Basie and all of this stuff, and Dizzy Gillespie made appearances on there. I had no idea how that stuff was being programmed inside of me then.
Yeah.
So it was just I mean, just so much exposure, even with the lack of communication, like without having the smartphones and all of that. It was the radio, the TV, your friends, MTV. It's like just the right amount to get all of this stuff and take it all in.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate too. Like, if you just talk about culture, we just talked about like TV and stuff. I was watching, among other things, but I mean, I was watching What's Happening. I had to catch every episode. You just said it, Cosby Show and stuff. But the one I really remember, because I was a little bit older now, we're talking about 91, I think, when it came in, but Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, dude. It's crazy. I just watched an episode, season 3, episode 1. It's my favorite episode. I was watching it last night. I was showing my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, I'm taking a break from Love Island right now. Okay. I need, because that's what we watch Love Island endlessly. I'm like, I'm watching some Fresh Prince. Put on season 3, episode 1. I love it. It's so good, but there's so much great culture in that too, man. With Uncle Phil, you know, and stuff. And they're listening to, like, they're singing War, Spill the Wine and all that and everything. Mm-hmm. And of course, Will, I mean, bringing hip hop culture and all this. And the IB Blackman brand, all the stuff that he wore. And I wanted those like colored leather jackets from the early 90s that like Arsenio would wear. And it's just like, man, I was telling, you know, sorry, man, I've told all the stories, but it's like, as much as like I wanted to be like Adam Ant, I didn't discriminate. I wanted to be just as much like Will Smith. I wanted to be, you know, these are all people that like, who I am now, like stuff that just comes off the cuff, right? When you're just talking and having fun with your friends, like right. I'll just say stuff that I got from, and like, in fact, we're watching last night's episode and Will said something and she's like, oh, that's where you got that. I'm like, it was so funny. I'm like, if we just binge watched Fresh Prince, you're going to see a lot of stuff, dude. You're going to be like, wait a minute, I know this guy. But yeah.
Yeah. That was good stuff, man. Oh my gosh. Such good times.
Couple more comments. 5150 says Saltzine, my fave, because it's about going out and making it happen. Just what I was doing, moving to Colorado Springs on my own at 20 years old. It's all about the memories, man, and like what that thing tied into. I love it. 5150 is so great. I mean, it's going to mean something different. That's the other thing too about music, man. It's going to mean something different to everyone. Mm-hmm. I can't sit someone down and be like, oh man, go listen to Journey Escape. It's going to make you think of this, and the other. No, that's my memory. That's my DNA. Like, you might like it probably for totally different reasons, you know? 5150, great. I mean, I don't have that experience with it. I came to it later, but I mean, I always get this wrong, but it's like the difference between Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth was going from Ain't Talking About Love to
how do you know when it's love?
What? Yeah, whatever. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, total, like, one is all about the sexiness and all this, and the other one was more about the love.
Yeah. But I say it with total pride too. 5150 is my favorite Van Halen album.
I know.
Without question.
That's awesome.
Banger.
That is the one that's the one Van Hagar record I even own. I know I need to go get OU812 and keep kind of expanding my horizons. I love every single David Lee record. I think they're so great. And 5150, I put right up there with all that stuff. But that's about as far as I go.
Yeah. That's like one of the only things I don't like about the whole David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar split thing is that there's so many people that don't view that as one catalog of Van Halen.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like if you always kept that in mind, your mind cannot be more blown that a band can start like that from album 1 to their last album, and it's that incredible up and down. That there is something extremely special about that I feel Van Halen does not get credit for because of the I'm a Roth guy, I'm a Hagar guy.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
Every Roth album, every freaking Hagar album, I mean, just all fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. I can't pretend to know all that Hagar stuff. I got to get out there. Stevie Grasshopper says Stevie Wonder with the sampler on the Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I watched Cosby, it's less in my memory. Like I don't remember about all that stuff with it. Unfortunately,
that was the one where they got into a car accident with Stevie Wonder, and then he invited them down to the studio. And while they were in the studio, he was like,
"Oh, that's okay."
Yeah,
I remember that part. Yeah,
jamming on the one. Remember that?
Yeah. That's right. I don't remember that. I forgot about the car accident part, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, he had Dizzy Gillespie was on the show, like Lena Horne was on the show, and
he was a huge jazz head, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah, huge. And he never made a big deal about it. It was just the next episode, here's a character, and you experienced something you thought was awesome. And like, oh, I just got introduced to Lena Horne. I had no freaking idea. Yeah. I just got introduced to Dizzy Gillespie. I had no freaking idea. He was a genius at that. So good.
So cool. Swifty, like Sabbath, Van Halen was 2 different bands in my opinion. You can like one more than the other.
Definitely.
Sabbath is another one. I hate to admit this, but it's like I'm an Ozzy guy, when it comes to Sabbath too. And if I'm being honest, like I don't have my Sabbath on lock. Like there's a couple albums I know more than others and stuff, but I'm not like even though I love their music, I'm not, and I've seen them twice. I'm not someone that has like, I don't know. I'm not super familiar. I couldn't just sit here and tell you all the music on the records and stuff, but what do you think about that? Do you think you look at Sabbath different than you look at Van Halen? Is it 2 different bands?
I don't think Sabbath splits as hard for me as, I mean, actually Van Halen doesn't split for me, but I just, okay, I'm kind of answering it for other people. I need to answer it for myself. I'm trying to answer what I think other people think. I think for me, Sabbath only splits away from like Dio and Ozzy are Sabbath. Everything outside of Dio and Ozzy doesn't feel like Sabbath to me. So I don't have a clear split of just a split just away from Ozzy, but Dio and Ozzy are together with me with Sabbath, and everything else is kind of, that's definitely different, definitely moving in another direction, blah blah blah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, to me, the only Sabbath I know is Ozzy. If I'm being honest, like I just haven't dug into it that deep.
I mean, like Heaven and Hell, Mob Rules. I mean, like that was a perfect fit for what Dio was. It was,
and I like Dio, so it's like I think if I start to dig into that stuff, I'm probably gonna like it.
Yeah.
Let's see, Grasshopper. The Zero the Hero video blew my mind as a kid. Which one's that? You know what that is?
It's not ringing a bell. Is it Zero the Hero?
Dang it, I hate that. I hate when people bring stuff up that we don't know about.
There's so much of it.
I was just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Like that happens all the time. Oh, it's on the Born Again or the Sabbath. That's a Sabbath song.
I don't remember the video for that. Yeah, I mean it's off of
Born Again.
Born Again, but I don't remember a video for that. I guess I need to go check it out.
Swifty Cosby Show Cosby owned a record label in the late '60s. Deep Purple's first few records were released on it in the U.S. Okay, I didn't know that. It's a deep cut. I think the Deep Purple guy is the singer. Says Grasshopper on that Sabbath song. You mean or?
Oh yeah, Ian was he was the lead singer on that album.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was him.
Clueless when it comes to that.
Ian G. He was a good vocalist. So I don't think it totally worked on that album, but I mean, he's legend.
It's so hard, man, because it's like Ozzy has such a definitive sound. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's hard for me to like take that away. But I mean, you know, it's just like with Journey. The thing they did with Journey was they just brought a guy in that sounds like Steve Perry. Right. You know, they didn't even try to hide it. It's like, we need a guy that can sing these songs and he got to sound like Steve Perry, and he does. But then like Van Halen, I don't know. I think there are qualities to David Lee and Haggard that are similar. Like they're in the same, it seems like to me like they're kind of in the same range and all of that stuff. And sometimes I hear Sammy and I think that's kind of David Lee like, but then I also hear Sammy's early stuff and I think they almost like came out of a similar mold. I'm not saying, I know David, I'm not comparing them because their energy is different. David Lee has a lot of vocal isms that he brings to the music that is different from Sammy. Sammy's maybe cleaner voiced but there's just, the roots feel similar. You know what I mean? And I don't know if the same could be said with Black Sabbath, at least the stuff I've heard after Ozzy. I don't know. What other bands?
I would kind of say like maybe somewhat similar to what you're saying. They don't quote unquote sound the same, but even though they're doing it completely differently, they're both projecting the exact same energy.
You talking
about Roth and Hagar.
Yeah. I'm not saying exactly. I'm not saying they sound the same, but I almost feel like either could have sung those songs their way, but it would have made sense both ways.
Yeah.
That creepy video. We have to check out that video now. In Toronto, Much Music played the Hero video a lot. Cool. It might be one that we see and we're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the video. That happens all the time. I remember the song, but the video is not ringing a bell to me at all.
Swifty says production was so dark and. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I'll check it out. I'm gonna check that out after this.
Yeah, me too. Production was so dark and doomy on Born Again. It was great, says Swiftomatic. Okay, I gotta hear it. Yeah, I mean, that album cover freaks me out. It's like monochromatic and stuff. So it's innocuous enough until you really put your mind in, I don't know, you start thinking about, you know, a baby demon and it's like, oh, okay, you know, so that's kind of creepy, man. I mean, there's been way creepier imagery on metal albums, but just the idea of that dude, yeah, it's like, dang, he's got fangs and everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in 1984, the kid was just smoking a cigarette. He didn't have fangs. Come on now, DLR was top 5 frontman. Sammy was not. Yeah, I know, and you know, the thing about I hate to say I feel like I have to defend David Lee in a lot of ways because people always say he's a great frontman, he's a great showman, but he was also a great singer. I'm not saying he had a great voice. You sent me the acapella David Lee and, you know, and all that. And I know, look, I mean, people are going to be like, what the hell? It sounds like some kid that doesn't know what he's doing. But, and I've said this a million times, you don't have to have a good voice to be a good singer. He is kind of epitomizes that. I get it. And when you put him together with the rest of the band, it just works, man. It just works with the high pitch. Wow. And the this and that. And he has a voice for rock and roll, man. And that's what's cool about it. Some guys just have that rock and roll voice. And I don't know if there's a more 80s rock and roll voice than David Lee, in my opinion. And I don't know, man. I just think it's so, and Panama is maybe a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, the way I've always described that is like what a great singer will do is they will serve the song. Is
Yeah.
like that's what a great singer does. Because you can have guys that have amazing voices or girls have amazing voices. Song does nothing for you. It's completely unimpressive. But if there's anything that Roth did to perfection, it was I know how to give this song and present this song exactly what it needs to take on all that is rock and roll. And I'm not sure anyone's really done it better than him when it just comes to that.
Yeah, just pure. Yeah, just really just sounds like he's inventing it as he goes, man. It's like those first few like Van Halen albums are just like, damn. It's like how I feel about the first few Led Zeppelin albums. It's funny too, and I don't know, this could be another video for another day too, but if you're really good, have a good ear, which I know a lot of us do, you can start to hear subtle changes in singers' voices where they've almost began wearing their voice out already.
Oh, yeah.
To me, Steve Perry and Journey, when you listen to like Infinity, his first album with Journey, it is phenomenal. Steve Perry's voice on Infinity is the voice that people that love Steve Perry remember. You can already start to hear a 5% degradation maybe on Escape. And then as we get to like Raised on Radio, I hear it. He's already struggling. His voice has changed a little bit. So when you hear that, those first couple, same thing with Led Zeppelin, man. It's like when you hear Robert Plant, it's like those first Led Zeppelin albums, dude. He's just pulling out all the stops. His voice is crazy. He's just shredding his vocal cords. And those later albums, you hear him start to tame it down. Now that might have been a style choice. I don't know, but when you hear his solo albums, he almost sounds like a completely different singer. You don't hear him going to like those early Led Zeppelin the way his style was then. So anyway, just an observation.
I think a lot of those guys too, especially like coming out of the 70s and stuff like that, I don't think it was as serious about like the vocal coaches exercising and warming up your voice. Like I don't think that stuff was as, maybe kind of started getting to maybe late 80s, going into the 90s. Some rock bands started taking that a little more serious. Like Hetfield from Metallica is kind of a great example. But yeah, I think most just like drank and partied all night, then got on stage the next night and just let it rip. And I mean, it's a muscle. It can only take so much. Just like every athlete wears out, long before their time, that muscle's can wear out the exact same way.
100%. I mean, I wore mine out. I can't sing for shit now. And I was holding my own with Daryl Hall back in the day, George Michael. I mean, anyway. All right. Well, hell, man, we keep spinning into new conversations. This has been fun, but I probably should wrap it up, man. I know it's late for you, so.
Yeah, that was fun, man. Another good one.
Fun. Yeah, that was good stuff, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Yeah, go download the Spinz app. It's free. If you have an iPhone, go check it out. I think it's pretty cool. It really just tries to answer that, create a solution for collecting vinyl. And there's a lot of fun stuff about it. And now there's a tutorial and stuff that'll step you through. So it's just a lot of cool stuff. I practice singing to the third stage, says Salzine. Dang it. How come I don't get that?
What did it say? I didn't quite make that up.
I practice singing to third stage.
Oh, Boston third stage?
Is that what it is? Okay. Third stage, yeah.
Yeah, those Boston.
Sorry, I feel like every time I keep having to ask people to like explain themselves, and it's just because I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. We're definitely going to catch you next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. Appreciate you guys being flexible with us, man. I know we have other stuff going on, so we're really trying to get out here every week, though, and be out here on Tuesday or Wednesday. So Boston, yep, you got it, third stage. That's right. Boston, another great one, another great singer, another great album. All right, guys. Thank you, Tokyo. Thank you, Salt, for being here. Swifty, thank you for being here. Everyone's here. Grasshopper, thank you. Everybody, don't be a stranger.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
You guys rock. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll. Dr. Johnny, thank you for being here, man, all the time. Appreciate you. Michael Elliott, thanks for being in the house. I'm determined to try to mention everybody. Vinyl Guy, thank you so much. Love you guys. See you guys next week.
Have a good one.